Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Films with Bill and Steve. I'm Steve.
And I'm Bill.
Movies talk! So let's talk movies.
Let's talk those movies! Welcome to this month's theme month. We're on the verge of a new Avengers movie. We just got done talking about the Swamp Thing. Steve's got some filming coming up, so we wanted to do something a little easy for the theme for this month. We decided, hey, what better than Tromaville's own The Toxic Avenger?
Fuck yeah, the first superhero from New Jersey.
I love the monster. Do you love the monster?
I love the monster.
We love the monster. So, Toxic Avenger. Let's look here. 1984, 1 hour, 22 minutes, directed by Michael Hertz and Lloyd Kaufman as Samuel Weil. Tromaville has a monstrous new hero. The Toxic Avenger is born when meek mop boy Melvin falls into a vat of toxic waste. Now evildoers will have a lot to lose. So that's Toxic Avenger.
Okay, seems pretty fair.
Seems pretty fair. This is this is known by many people as like the film that really built Troma. This is their first like major hit that really funded everything they were able to do after that in the booming market of VHS in the 1980s.
This is Troma's Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's fair. But I was trying to make an analogy about how it gets worse from here, but I mean, Nightmare is pretty good for first travel.
Yeah, Nightmare kind of ramps up, if you ask me, up until about 4.
Yeah, I agree. But no, because we talked many times before in the 80s, VHS was the boom. For a while, there were a lot of studios weren't doing anything with it, but Charles Band and Lloyd Kaufman and people of those type were able to capitalize on it, make a lot of money from VHS before then the major studios kind of got in on all the goods, all the money to be made.
Yeah.
But this was like Troma's first big thing. So, Steve, obviously for you, me, many people in our age range are into horror and like all that type of weird exploitation stuff. We all know about the Toxic Avenger.
Yes. And
have a huge love for it. So let's just get right into it. What did you think of the Toxic Avenger?
I think the Toxic Avenger is a weird film. It's very over the top, violent, yet silly, yet ridiculous. It's definitely surreal and just inane at times. There's very little logic in the world, but that's not a bad thing. It feels like a live-action R-rated cartoon. Feels like
a live-action, like, 70s alternative press comic book.
Yeah.
Like the R-Crumbs, like all, like, maybe stories from heavy metal. Just like all that type of weird, like, indie press comic books that were existing, like the counterculture type stuff that existed in the 70s and up until today even. That type of stuff. That seems like that type of movie.
Yes.
Where someone just either, like, watched Swamp Thing, read a Swamp Thing comic book, read some stuff like that, and it's like, man, I can make that. And they just, like, made this, like, gross, like, weird kind of commentary on, like, other, like, to have some weird commentary on pollution and excess and stuff in the 80s. All this weird stuff. And then decide that's what they made. And that's what you get.
Perfect.
The perfect. It's so funny. I was telling Steve before we recorded, I was having this conversation today. It's like, how to describe the Toxic Avenger. And it's so funny because it's like, I don't innately want to say action, don't want to necessarily say comedy or horror, but it's like, the gut instinct is like, it's a Troma movie.
Well, what's a Troma movie?
It's Toxic Avenger.
What's the Toxic Avenger?
It's a Troma movie.
Exactly.
It's like, you know what you get. Troma films are cheap, they're crude, they're rude, they're funny. They have usually clearly spend a lot of their money on just trying to have like really good gore effects. So this is best they can. Yes. Sometimes not. But, when I talk about Troma, we're going to talk about early Troma. Because obviously Troma now is a shadow of its former self in so many ways. Mm-hmm. Just purely on cutting corners around the clock and not giving a shit. Not losing your humanity in the process.
Yeah.
But, you get this, like, sense of, edge. I don't want to say edge. Edge sounds like such a trendy fucking word to say nowadays. You know what I mean? It's that thing, like, you would never see anything like this in the early 80s.
Right.
Even in the 70s, this would never have been made in, like, a 42nd Street Theater movie. Mm-hmm. This was a movie definitely made for the VHS culture at the time. Mm-hmm. The box art is like, what's this? What's this like weird dude holding a mop
in front of the
Toxic Avenger? in front of the American flag. It's like, this is the box art, everything is like purely centered towards selling tapes.
Yes.
And unlike most films with great box art trying to sell tapes, this film actually delivers on it.
I think so.
I definitely. It's just, we can get into more specifics here, but it's like, overall, the film just has tons of charm. The humor, it's that weird thing where sometimes there's really smart jokes, but a lot of times it's just stupid. Mm-hmm. But it works. Like, it's just like the charm of the film. It's like they're doing stupid, ridiculous things, but I don't know. In this world they're creating, and the way it's shot and everything else, how it looks, it fits.
It fits, yeah.
And it makes me laugh. I'm just like, this is stupid, but there's clearly a lot of love put into it, and it's clear that a lot of the decisions are clearly intentional. Mm-hmm. Like they know, they get the joke on what they're doing.
It seems that way a lot.
For example, like one of my favorite things about the film is how majority of the time the Toxic Avenger, Toxie, Melvin, whichever you want to go with here for his name, it's very clear his voice is just being ADR'd.
Yes.
And it's hilarious. Because most scenes it's like, rawr, rawr, rawr. Then it's like,
hi there.
Clearly, hi, mother, don't be afraid. And it's so clearly like a voice from off the screen, not coming from the actual
actor at
character.
All.
And it's just so funny to me.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh so much. Like, there's some people I feel like are like keyed into the right point of acting, but some people are just like so like overacting and like over the top and ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like showing lots of teeth and opening their mouth very wide, like, wow. Yeah. And all that stuff it's ludicrous.
Ludicrous is the best way to describe the film.
And I don't know, it works so well for me. So well. And I think this film just hits all the points. I've been chatting. You want to go over some of your positives, Steve? I've been kind of rambling here. Power talk.
I mean, are we just like going with a few specific things that stick out to us, or?
We can go stick out. We can go over anything you want to do. This is a great discussion. We have the entire episode to talk about the Toxic Avenger.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty much done. It's a good movie.
Just move on to star ratings. Star ratings, yeah, okay.
Now, I mean, yeah, ludicrous is a good way to put it. And most of the time, as you said, they really seem to... they understand the joke. They understand their own insanity. How little or how much they can do. One of my favorite things early in the film is when they have the sheep that Melvin makes out with. Because they like put it in a bra and a wig and lipstick? For no reason, because it was pitch black. Yeah. But when it turns on and it's just the sheep with the lipstick, if it was just a sheep, fuck you. A sheep with a wig, whatever. The sheep in the bra with the great-looking tits, pretty impressive. But you add on the lipstick, it's just like, why? Why is this here? I love that it's here. Why?
It's all these little extra details.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like the sheep has like a colored wig on. It's all done up. And it's why'd you guys go to that detail to do that to prank Melvin? Yeah. I'm so confused. Or what makes me laugh is like the tutu pink getup he wears has like purple polka dots on it for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
It's like there has to be this little extra touch on everything. Yeah. Like for Bozo and Slug for the car they're driving around hitting kids. There's like a weird, like a shitty flame decal on the side, but they also put like stamps on their side of their car for all the things they've killed and hit. Like it's a fucking fighter plane from World War II.
Yeah. No one can catch them though. No one can catch this hit and run team.
No, because it's all done at night, and obviously the city government is very corrupt.
Very corrupt.
In Tromaville. But it's so funny because it's like that detail is not necessarily super focused on. It's only seen in like cutaway shot, like quick shots and stuff. So you're not even seeing it that much, but it's clear they thought about it enough to make sure to include it on the car.
Yeah. Troma used to have a really good attention to detail. I like how much they reuse extras between like gym scenes and montages and background stuff. And
because they're there for one day shooting everything. So,
but like when they not for every character, a few seems like they were spaced out a little bit. Like the cop that gets saved, the kid that gets saved in the restaurant, the two gay barbers that are also working out at the gym in just thongs.
Yeah,
like they actually make Tromaville feel like a town with these people.
Yeah. a lot of people always showing back up. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, it is. The town only has like 15,000 people, so it's relatively a small town. So it makes sense that you'd establish these characters, like they establish them, they establish the cop, the kid that works at the Mexican place that has katanas on the wall.
I fucking love the Taco Palace.
It's like clearly like they establish those people to be like, here are resident Tromaville citizens. So every time we need to get the pulse of society and what people are thinking, we just cut to them. Like we've seen these characters before when they opened up the on the Tromaville Health Club. It's like, here are these guys. So you recognize them. The cop that the Toxic Avenger saves. Like we go back to him, what he thinks. Like we have these like quick people that we can go back to and find out like where we're at in the film, what people are thinking of the monster, and all these other little things.
It worked really well.
Totally. Like it's so funny. You can go to all these little details, but what you're talking about is essentially a super skinny twerp named Melvin who got flung out of a window into a truck that had just loose barrels of toxic waste sitting on the back of it.
They just stopped directly in front of the gym.
Which the two drivers are there just smoking coke.
Smoking coke, injecting marijuanas.
My son died from an overdose of injecting marijuanas. Just stop doing coke. It's like he like dunks in this toxic waste. He sets a cop's hands on fire.
He's faking. He's just faking.
He's faking, man. He can't take a joke.
Can't take a joke. That was one of my favorite jokes in the film. Just can't take a joke. Oh, Jesus Christ! Can't take a joke.
And Melvin is like running off, bursting into flames. All this stuff. Like this film is like everything is happening. He like transforms into like a gigantic muscle-bound monster, as you do in any superhero film. And everything is just ridiculous. But there's all these like good filmmaking techniques still used in it. I mean, like, my biggest takeaway from the film, almost 2 hours long, and it flies by. It is such a fast-moving movie.
It does move fast.
And I think it benefits from that is because the film is almost cut and shot in, like, sketches.
Yes, definitely a few segments feel like just sketches.
Yeah, totally. So you have, like, the cigar face, lips, and, like, a third... gang member like attacking a cop, and then Toxie shows up and just obliterates the fuck out of them. And so that's like a big segment. Then there's the Mexican palace, the Taco Palace.
Yes.
A scene where three guys show up and robbing the place. That's a whole.
I love those three guys, by the way.
Oh, totally.
Like those seem like they could legitimately be villains in any superhero film.
Oh, I totally.
I could see Batman beating the shit out of those guys. I could see Dredd killing those guys.
Mm-hmm. Like there's the black guy is cool. There's one guy that has like half his face painted in red.
Yeah, he looked great.
Oh, he's great. He almost could be like the fucking Joker in this fucking movie. He's like has a great laugh, great look to him. As like his like these guys are clearly been picked up from another movie where they're gonna kill Charles Bronson's family, and then Charles Bronson's gonna like get revenge on them. They're picked up from that film and is dropped into Tromaville.
Also, that half clown guy has the same tattoo as Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just noticed. That's Boss awesome. With a knife through it, like exact same design.
Maybe that was a nod.
Maybe it was a nod.
Not to Frankenfurter, that hot dog. And like I guess it's a good quality of this film is it has great hyperviolence.
Yes.
Like when they're robbing the taco place, the one guy like stands up because the guy half red faced guy is taunting some girls. He's like, "Oh, stop it!" And he's like, he shoots him, blows his like guts out all over the place. He falls, so he flies backwards through a wall, all this stuff. Or when Bozo, Slug, and the two chicks, which one? Julie and Wanda? I think those are the other two
her name.
Women with them. Like how they get off on doing hit and runs. Yeah. So the setup for it's already hilarious because like the little kid's driving off on his bike. His mom's like, "Bye, don't be out too late."
It's so 1950s Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, so he's driving down the road and they just fucking plow him.
Then back up and run over his head.
Oh, great head crushing.
We're referencing that in Carousel.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm not going to say when or who, but keep an eye out.
Hey, man, check out that movie. It's going to have a good head-crushing scene.
Pre-order the film on VHS, $100. Comes in a pizza box.
Man, that's a great way to make money. You'll sell out.
I got to take it to Wasteland for sure to for sure sell out, though.
Oh yeah, Wasteland they'll eat that up. And there's another great head crushing scene where some guy working at the health club is selling drugs and stuff. So he's on a leg press at the right bench I'm describing, and Toxie pulls his head through and just drops the weight on his head. That's a great head crush.
Great head crush. And I don't think you see the full version of that on the Prime version that you watch, because the full edit of that scene is only on the director's cut.
Okay, what's the full scene then? Because
it probably just focuses more on the gore than the regular cut. I haven't seen the regular cut in years.
The cut I watched, it's like he crushes it, then there's a shot of like the stump of his head like blowing blood in the hands like all over his face.
Oh, well, maybe the Prime version is the director's cut.
I'm starting to think it was, because I started thinking about some stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I think it was longer than I thought. The special effects are done by Jennifer Aspinall, and I thought they were just fantastic. There's the head crushing, the arms like our arms getting ripped off, deep fried hands. I think my favorite kill might be the milkshake.
Yes,
where he takes half red face, like he's drowning him in milk, shoving ice cream in his mouth, whipped cream, chocolate. Like he shoves his mouth into the shake, the blender. And hell, that entire scene I love. That's a huge.
It just keeps going and going.
The cop shows like, this guy looks like he got turned into a shake. And
that's my favorite part of that scene. Is just every cop has a taco.
They're all eating tacos, like talking nonchalantly about all these dead robbers in here and stuff.
I also liked the very quickly breathing dead dog.
Oh yeah,
that poor dog.
He killed my dog. I can't do anything without my dog.
I want to say, in a film of ridiculous, insane acting, this chick actually played a somewhat realistic, well-done blind girl. Much better than the actress who plays Claire in the later films.
Sarah. Oh, sorry, Sarah.
Sarah in 1 and 4, Claire in 2 and 3. I don't know why.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that. It's been a while. I mean, obviously, we're working towards watching those films. But no, this is also this is my favorite.
Yeah, I think she does. She's not ridiculous. She's believable, but there's still a lot of like slapstick comedy because she's blind.
Yeah, she keeps hitting the Toxic Avenger in the nuts.
Yep.
My favorite of that is when she's trying to open the cork to the champagne bottle and just shoots the cap right into his dick. It's like, this didn't need to have a dick shot, but here it is. Go. It makes sense with her swinging her cane around and stuff, but nope, just accidentally shooting a guy in the dick with the cork of a champagne bottle. Perfect. So, one of my favorite parts of the film is the framing for the first 48 minutes of the film, where they're intentionally hiding the Toxic Avenger's face.
Yeah, for almost the entire movie.
Yeah, it's just like even it even goes so much to Sarah and him are on a date walking across the screen, and he's shimmying with his back towards the camera across the screen. Or when they're going into her house, she's walking in, but he's backing into her house. Yeah. It's so intentionally shot, and it's clearly they're in on it and they're making the joke of it, and it's so funny. And even it's almost it almost feels like they're building it up to end of the film, we see his face, but no, you see his face 48 minutes in when he goes to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's the reveal when you think he's covering his face.
Yeah, he thinks Slug. When he thinks they set up earlier that Slug will pretend to be the Elephant Man and to have sex with Wanda. I think it's Wanda. And when Toxie shows up, he just sticks her ass on hot coals.
That's all she does. That's all he does for the whole time. Yeah. You hot ass.
The film. I don't know. I don't want to go into negatives just yet. Any other positives so far you want to talk about? Because I mean, we can hit on tons. There's so many great.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good parts of the film.
I love when they kill the kid. Slug is there to say "Oh man, I gotta go home. I gotta go to church."
Gotta go to church.
That's such a good one. And then there's a great car chase scene where they do some good job of crashing some cars.
Yeah, there's some legit good car chasing in this movie, especially for a $500,000 budget. Whoa.
Oh yeah, totally. $500,000 in 1984 is still not a lot of money.
I don't know. I just like the way the town's portrayed a lot. Like you said, it feels like a real town. Characters keep on popping up. I love the whole "We Love the Monster" T-shirt business.
Yeah. That's really good. I like how they try to introduce this angle really quickly where Toxie thinks he's just going on a rampage murdering people, but then they're like, no, the woman he killed is
this evil piece of shit.
A rap sheet a mile long,
white slave trade.
White slave trade people, all this stuff. And it's when you first meet her, it's like this tiny little like old lady that Toxie is like throws in a washer, throws in a dryer, steam presses her.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good. Oh man,
I like that his getaway is literally just slightly out of town in a tent.
Yeah. That like everybody surrounds they get the National Guard.
They get a fucking tank. How much did that tank cost, Lloyd? Good job.
I mean, hey, I'm sure they used it for another movie.
Oh god, yeah, they did. They used that for like 8 movies, I'm sure.
That shot.
That shot. They didn't reuse this. They didn't bring the tank back.
No, they just have that one shot. Like, there's a famous shot, I think, in the second Toxic Avenger film, isn't it? Where the car exploding and flipping.
That's used in Toxie 4, but that's originally from, I think, I forget which Troma movie. But it was in another Troma movie, and they've reused that shot at least 8 times.
Oh, yeah, like almost every film has that shot of a car. That, like, even a film made today will have that shot of, like, these old 80s cars, like, crashing and blowing up. Because that shot was so expensive, he has reused it in everything he possibly could.
It's like how Troma to this day can't get another good, like, fire stunt after Toxic Avenger 1.
Oh, that's such a good one.
It's such a good one.
Night on Bald Mountain playing all the time with the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, that's another good scene. There's some good stunts in this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, they utilized their budget. They used every penny they possibly could to maximize.
Absolutely, and
because it's very clear they're shooting a lot of the same. That they center all of it mostly around the health club, so they can shoot as much as they can at that gym with the pool and everything.
Yeah, we got to be here 3 days. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Shifting over to some negatives. My major negative is the film feels very weirdly cut.
Yes, it's very weirdly edited.
Like, for example, I mentioned the Elephant Man scene, like when Slug shows up and does all this stuff, and it's like a couple of bit later, it's like almost like the same scene. It almost feels like it should have like Toxie showing up and scaring her and killing her should have directly preceded that. Instead, it's like another 30 minutes later we go back to that. And
in addition to that, there's always a lot of like weird tone cuts, like hard cuts between scenes that I feel like shouldn't have been next to each other.
Do you have an example
off the top of my head? No, but I feel like it happened several times.
No, I get that feeling. I'm just trying to think if there's anything specific like that. It might kind of when Toxie first like shows up to kill the people trying to kill the cop, kill Cigarface and all them. It almost like he crushes their heads, does some stuff, and it's like quick snap cuts over to something else. Or what else? Like there's the montage scene. They reuse a couple of the same shots.
They reuse things a few times in the film, yeah,
for sure.
That's Troma staple.
Yes. No, yeah, like some of this can be forgiven for how low the budget was, but it's almost like some of the cuts are weird. Like they just didn't like when they do it. They go back to an establishing shot of the truck with all the chemical vats outside. They clearly cut it a little too soon, where you actually do see the couple frames where the truck is like stopping. Yeah. Like they didn't clearly like snip it, so you just have the established shot outside. Mm-hmm. It's like you can clearly see they just miscut it where they should have cut it a little sooner. And it is kind of funny.
The Melvin transformation scene is a bit weird for me. I think it goes on a bit too long, and they like do weird effects. And I don't mean like the effects on the arm and stuff. That stuff looks great. It's just like now we're going to cut to negative.
Oh yeah, but it's like negative as he's like. I think the intent for that was the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, maybe.
Because in the Bill Bixby series, didn't they like do like a negative thing when he transforms?
I think so.
I've been watching. I watched it, so I'm pretty sure that's a direct reference to that. Just like I still really feel like this film itself is a reference to Swamp Thing. Guy gets doused in chemicals, bursts into flames, turns into a crusader against
pollution
toxic stuff.
A big negative for me is I feel like the ending is extremely rushed.
Yeah, like they're all show up to kill him, and then all he does is punch out the mayor's guts,
which everyone's okay with. There's no hint that the town knows anything about this corruption either, and then that's it.
No, yeah. The one negative is that they seem to kind of establish that he can recognize evil and on intent, like immediately know to punish it. But I don't feel like they really touch on it that much. I feel like that's something that gets way more developed as the films go on. So it's like he knows he has to kill the mayor because the mayor's evil, but no one else knows it.
Yeah, no one else understands that.
Yeah, I do love the Nazi chief of police.
Yeah.
He's so funny. Like when he first started, like, everyone raise their hands one at a time, and he does this big howl and everything.
Keeps calling the Mayor Fuhrer. Just a dumb little I'm a Nazi joke.
Yeah, big, gigantic, goofily money-sized, like, brown paper bags full of money. the mayor is just like this fat guy who's hilarious. I thought he was very good as the mayor. Just getting massages by women all the time.
Next to a sandwich as long as he is.
I know. So they're eating, getting massages. Oh, so ridiculous. Man, spoiler alert for the rest of the films we're going to talk about. This, for me, is the best Troma film.
Yeah, completely agreed. This is the best Troma film, period.
It has the most charm. I feel it has the most love and care put into it, even though it's very cheap. And I just feel like there's so many things that I feel like Troma gets stuck up its own ass, like from here, like not for a couple years after this, but especially now, especially like the last like 15, 20 years. I feel like Troma has been up its own ass about how it makes its movies, and it just doesn't care about like any sort of quality. It's like just trying to be tasteless for the sake of being tasteless.
Like there's definitely some tasteless jokes in the Toxic Avenger, but they aren't the entire movie. A lot of the film is just more slapstick, a little bit more silly, and as we've said a few times, like they kind of like understand that their movie is a joke.
They understand it's ridiculous to have these like beautiful blonde women going like, "Oh man, I can't." Like they taking Polaroids of like dead kids, like, "Oh, the reds get me so hot."
And masturbating to it.
Yeah, going to the steam room, looking at pictures of crushed children's heads, and masturbating to it and everything. It's just like they know what they're making here. But now
modern Troma has been, and like you said, the past 20 years, it's just tasteless to be tasteless. Like, let's have a bunch of shit jokes. Let's have this penis out. Fat guy penis.
Isn't it funny how he's just waving it over Lloyd's head? I'm Lloyd Kaufman, everybody. Buy my movies. Buy my movies, please.
I remember when the trailer for the newer Nukem High came out. And like
I think it was just Return to Nukem High.
I think so. Return to Nukem High, and like so much of the trailer was actually winning me over because it seemed like classic Troma again. And then it just cuts to a fat guy waving his dick, and I'm just immediately checked out. Just like, nope, never mind.
I did the same thing. We both talked to each other, and we're like watching it, then immediately went, nope, nope, I'm done. I thought you guys were getting me back, but nope. God damn it.
But this one holds up. It's not for everybody. My wife said that this was the worst movie she's ever watched with me.
That says something.
But I'm a little confused because it's just silly. It's ridiculous, ludicrous fun, but it knows it is. But as I said to Bill, I think my wife she's okay with that, but she has a line, and maybe this film just crossed the line for her where it was too stupid. But not for me, because it made me laugh a bunch.
Oh, I laughed.
Fucking yeah! Give me this jar full of popcorn kernels, and then when I hand it back, it's full of popcorn.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna eat this popcorn. I have cancer now.
He's got to go fix up his little shack in the toxic waste.
My favorite part about that montage, and I don't think this is supposed to be a joke, but I couldn't stop laughing because it's that scene when he holds the jar, and his hands are so toxic and hot that he makes popcorn. The very next shot, he's carrying a baby. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus, no. Oh, Jesus, baby.
Yeah, I laugh the same thing about that. Though they sometimes have his touch being so radioactive and, like, intense that he's like, here's a baby. I saved this baby.
Everything's fine.
I'm going to hold your foot down and punch your face like it's like a punching bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you into a trash can and smash your dick.
Like it's a punching bag.
I can't. I'm going back to. I cannot get over how hilarious to me that this like Mexican taco place has katanas on the wall.
I lost my shit as soon as I saw it because I'd forgotten about it. Because it's been years since I've watched this movie.
Yeah, it's clearly just there for one of the guys robbing them to grab it and attack the Toxic Avenger.
That's the only reason why it's there.
Oh, then he threw a black man in the pizza oven and deep fried some guy's hands, and that's what kills him.
I mean, he stays there a while. Maybe, I don't know.
He's overdone.
Oh! Hand me a taco. I need to do this crime scene.
Cops eating tacos.
I really like the acting of the fat cook in that scene, even though that's the only scene he has in the entire movie.
Oh, the one that keeps like...
He was a hero!
Trying to establish how gross he is. He's like shoving his hand down his pants and making like a pop sound effect when he pulls his like bottle of drink out. It's so funny. I can't recommend Toxic Avenger enough. I think this is a great film.
I think so too.
So I think we should just dive right into star ratings. Steve, what would you give the Toxic Avenger?
Although I agree that it's a highly recommended film, I think it's a lot of fun, does a lot right, it's charming, and it is Troma's best. There are a few things that hold it back, like I said, some of the editing, the ending. I do think that a few of the action scenes go on for way too fucking long for the budget that they had. So it's not a perfect film. That being said, I give it a 4.
I also give it a 4 for those exact same reasons.
Yeah, I forgot to say, that's one of my other negatives, is that there's a few action scenes that are just like going on and on and on, and nothing's happening. Just like swinging, toss, swinging, toss, swinging, toss. Like, the action scene in the taco place is the best scene action-wise in the film.
Yeah, but when he first shows up, it's just a little too long now. He's just constantly beating people. Then he smashes their brains together, and then he... stuff. But I do like when Cigarface shows back up, all the criminals surround him. They go to shoot him, and he just jumps up and they all shoot each other.
Great joke! And then he gives them the middle finger.
Yes, that's right! Fuck you guys.
I wish more superheroes did that.
No shit.
Just after in Batman v Superman, after Batman rock bottoms everyone and everyone's down, just gives them all the middle finger.
Fuck you. Fantastic. Well, from here on, you can expect the next couple weeks, to be the next Toxic Avenger films, and we'll see where things go from here. Will they be better or worse than Ernest Goes to Africa? You'll have to stick around to find out.
Oh, wow. I think we're gonna get there.
No, undoubtedly. We're continuing on our series where we talk about how much we love the monster, or how much, I guess, from here on out that we don't necessarily love the monster.
Fuck the monster!
Oh, no! So, without further ado, The Toxic Avenger Part 2, 1989, so 5 years after the first film. Rated R, 1 hour, 42 minutes. Is what it has here. Of course, directed by Michael Hers and Lloyd Kaufman. The Toxic Avenger is tricked into traveling to Tokyo to search for his estranged father, leaving Tromaville open to complete domination by an evil corporation.
There you go.
Boom. There it is. Dropping it.
Boom, baby.
So, Steve, what do you think about The Toxic Avenger Part 2?
It's a movie.
Wow, that's my review. Okay, guys, star ratings. It's time to wrap it up.
Wrap it up there. Okay. Toxic Avenger 2. Now, for some reason, Toxic Avenger started blowing up like in the past 5 years at this point.
Yes.
Like, it was actually doing really well. It was getting a lot of attention. A lot of people talked about the Toxic Avenger. Enough so that Lloyd Kaufman talked a bunch of people into giving him all their money so that he could spend it on some stuff, but probably not his cast and crew, because that's how things roll. And he was given like over $2 million to make the Toxic Avenger sequel. So he did, and then he filmed so much stuff that it became two movies. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and I guess if we want to give credit, like, right off the bat, it looks like he used most of it.
In this one.
If you look at all the footage, like, all the unique footage that's shot between both films, it looks like he got his money's worth.
Yes.
I mean, as we get into with Part 2, I mean, they didn't shoot a lot of stuff in New Jersey. They wmoved to you went to a different country to shoot a ton of footage.
A ton of footage, yeah.
So, I mean, I can respect that a bit.
For sure.
I mean...
I just don't know who these people are. They gave Lloyd Kaufman $2 million.
Yeah, you know what's funny? He had more money, but the film looks worse than the film that had, like, no money.
It looks so much worse.
It's funny when your flashbacks look better than the actual film. I love when that happens in movies, when your flashbacks look so much better.
Here's a better movie.
Yeah, it's like, don't mind the quality drop here.
Don't worry about it.
Don't mind us. Don't mind our mess.
We'll
be right back.
So Toxic Avenger 2. Toxic Avenger 2 is a movie that I feel that starts off kind of strong and kind of really keeps going downhill the entire time.
I'm not sure if I fully agree with the downhill. I feel like it peaks, and when it should end, it just doesn't. It just, like, goes on, like, off a steep cliff for, like another 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, maybe that's a better way to put it.
Because let's get into the positives here.
Okay.
With the film, more specifically. I like the general setup. I like how it's kind of going along. I like how he goes to Japan. I like if this movie was just like the story was just setting up like the Toxic Avenger needing to find his father, and that's the story of the film. Okay, I'd love it.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The problem is there's this the thing that sends him to Japan, and the thing that's kind of the overlying story of the film in Tromaville
doesn't work.
Is what I hate.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So we're introduced to the Apocalypse Corporation.
Okay. Yep.
It was evil corporation.
Yep.
And they come up with apparently they describe in this film that there are traumatons, which is what makes up the Toxic Avenger and what makes him like so adverse to evil and wanting to kill evil and all that stuff.
Yes.
And so they develop anti-traumatons.
Yes.
And this is in Japan. I do like how they make the joke of, where do you get all the good stuff? In Japan! All the good stuff's made
If you want
Japan.
something to work, buy from Japan.
It's funny because that might not seem like such a joke now, but in the late 80s, like during the 80s and 90s, it was a very big deal.
Yes.
About, like, stuff with Japan, like a lot of, like, especially in the auto industry, like with Toyotas, like everyone thought if you're importing cars from Japan, you're an asshole and you need to buy, like that's where this whole idea of Buy American came from and stuff.
Yes.
Because the Japanese auto industry is just fucking kicking the U.S. auto industry's ass.
Just destroying it.
Because they were making way better cars. It's like, oh, the American cars are meant to last for a couple of years. You buy new ones. The Japanese cars are like, well, how about we fix that? And we'll just you can buy one car and just drive it forever. You know? And so there's just all those jokes there. I did appreciate that bit. But so they hatch this plan to make him go to Japan to find his father, because I guess we established that his father ditched Melvin Junko. I don't remember Melvin having a first name in the first film. I mean, sorry, a last name in the first.
Yeah, I was about to say it was definitely named Melvin. Yeah, Junko is new for the movie, I think.
Yeah, I know Melvin, but yeah, sorry, yeah, Junko, and it's like, okay, so that's his. Why is that his last name?
Yeah,
seems weird, but it's Troma. It's okay. You can kind of
whatever
it a little bit. So they're sending him to Japan. He'll be go. When he's in Japan, Apocalypse Corporation just takes over Tromaville. Like, they're just killing people. They're evil, guys. That's the name of Apocalypse Corporation.
Yeah.
And I feel this kind of a positive, negative, but I feel like if the film was just him in Japan, he does his adventure there, which we'll talk a little more detail about that, and then it ends with him coming back to Tromaville, and like it has a kind of cliffhanger ending into part 3, and part 3 is more about him battling Apocalypse Corporation.
I think it would have worked way better.
Yeah, way better. But how this film goes is they show up, he goes to Japan, he comes back, and then we have like another 40 minutes of him battling them and defeating them.
Which is pointless.
Especially
because they're still the villain of the third film.
Especially when next episode when we talk about part 3, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
So,
like, there was a much better way to make this a 2-part film.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And it's almost, how to describe what I'm feeling here. It's almost like they filmed all this stuff, not thinking they were just making one film. They got in the editing room and realized, oh, well, we can make two films out of this, which is hilarious when I think of all the footage they shot. Like, how was this supposed to work originally?
Yeah, how is this supposed to be one movie? I want to see that re-edit. I'll buy that, Troma. Re-edit this to be your original vision of Toxic Avenger Part 2, so that I can see what the fuck it was.
Because I will say, like, if whatever they did shoot, they were able to cut it into 2 films. I mean, but reeling it back in here, let's talk about like more specific things.
I like Michael J. White being in the movie.
Michael J. White is, from what little he does in this film, he's great.
He's so great.
I love it.
I do like the opening. When I say the opening, I mean it's a fun, like, intro action sequence with some gore, with some dumb, silly stuff. It's the charm from the first movie, I feel, is in this opening. Yes. You got a limousine that's basically a clown car for goons.
Yes.
And I lost it. And they're ridiculous goons. Like, one guy's an Indian for some reason.
There's a little person. There's like gangsters. There's
the little guy was buff as shit, too.
I know. Gets turned to a basketball.
Oh my god, it was so stupid, but I loved it. It was great. I think that the Toxic Avenger himself looks better in this film, which I would hope so after 5 years.
A tad better.
But mainly
the
actor that they got is like actually buff instead of just physically large.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the actors, the guy who is mostly Toxie in these two films, not the original guy that they fired because he was a dickwad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they talked about it on, like, the behind-the-scenes stuff. I forget who was who, but yeah, they had an original guy that did some of the scenes, and before they went to Japan, this guy was apparently so full of himself and treating everyone like shit that Lloyd was just like, oh, fuck it, it's just a guy in a mask, and gave him the boot. And then had one of the other guys already on set just be Toxie.
That's fair.
But that guy was, like, way better built, and he was the one that got to go to Japan and stuff, and everyone loved him. Like, in all the behind the scenes, everyone kept on talking about how great of a guy he was.
Yeah, just going off the voice of the actor, he sounds like a nice guy.
The voice is the guy who plays Toxie for most of the films.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like a nice guy.
But like I was saying, I like that he's built like he actually looks like an in shape, super strong guy instead of just a guy who so happens to be tall in a mask, like he was in the first film, which wasn't a negative.
Which it worked for the first film because they're obviously ADRing his voice and everything, anyways.
Yeah. So who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked that they decided to make Melvin's mother like mega Jewish all of a sudden.
That's true. That is kind of what happens with her, isn't it?
It worked for me. It was funny. I appreciate that Cigar Face like is just barely in the background in a couple of scenes until near the end.
And then he's in 3 a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more.
So
and it's straight up it's Cigar Face back from the dead.
It is. And so I laughed so hard. It's like, why is he back? He was killed in the first film, and he's just there. He doesn't really serve any story. Really, he just says stuff, is there, so he doesn't serve any purpose to anything. Like, he's not like he's a central character. No one actually talks about the fact that he died in the first film. It's like, no, this is just a different guy. But it is Cigar Face.
Lloyd liked the actor, so he brought him back. The end.
Hey, when you're Troma, you can just get away with anything.
Well, I like to think that he's back. It wasn't at all plan of Lloyd, so this is just headcanon, because I know they aren't smart enough to make this decision. But I like to think that his appearance is the first wink that there's more to this organization than you think, because there's a dead guy that's a part of it, and like, oh, it's the devil, that's why.
And there's a dead guy that's a part of it, there's a dog man that's a part of it.
Yeah.
There's goat men that are parts of it.
Oh, that horse chick was kind of hot.
You damn furry. Watch out, everybody. Steve's a furry.
Just for foxes.
Yiff.
So yeah, then let's get to some other positives. I'm trying to think. I mean, I do appreciate that they changed locations and he's in Japan.
Yes.
That really works. They have some fun with it. I do think that I'll save that for the negatives.
Trying to like talk about some things that are positives film, or it's really easy to like, immediately swerve it right into negatives. When it came to the community center for the blind, and even before that, I liked during the introduction, he's talking about Tromaville, like all the citizens like dancing in the streets, tattooing, manufacturing orange juice, and dancing in the streets. I love I like that montage. It's really funny. It really cracks me up.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you see or it's like exterminating, and it's just like they just keep putting in dancing in the streets, and everyone's just dancing in the streets.
And they like that in Japan too.
Yeah, they do. They really do. But especially at the community center for the blind, there's some good jokes there, like basketball, rooftop nature walks.
Yes.
All these things that blind people shouldn't be doing. A lot of the joke, like we're immediately getting hit in the face of a lot of things that I think are like stereotypical Troma jokes and Troma humor.
Yes.
Like this film is definitely, because obviously at this point Troma has really established themselves as a studio and what their like style and like how they do their films. Like how Toxie's killing people, he stuffs a guy in a wheelchair and crushes him. So we're getting that Troma style where the camera's right on someone's face as they go, they convulse and make ridiculous noises where blood blows out of their mouth.
Yes.
Which, it's most times not for me. So that's this kind of, that weird, that like I said before, like that merging into negatives. But it's part of their style, and this film has it. And so if you like that, that's certainly there for you.
Absolutely.
Of course, Michael Jai White shows up as doing nunchaku stuff, and then I love when he's fighting Toxie, and he's like, "Oh, you're lucky. I have a piano lesson."
Was it piano lesson or tennis lesson?
No, it was piano lesson.
Yeah, that's right. I just remember it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, I gotta get out of this. Piano lesson. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
And he just walks off. I think my favorite bit of that, I have two. One, my second favorite one is the man in drag.
Mm-hmm.
Who pulls a Uzi out of his crotch, and then the second in command woman in the limousine is like, "Oh shit, that was our best guy."
Yeah, it's just that was our best guy.
But my favorite bit of that is kind of
Malafair.
I don't know.
It's something like that. I think her name's Malafair.
I wouldn't be surprised. Lips. Let's call him Lips. That was a character in the first film.
The chick, the second command chick.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Maybe it was. The problem is there's the chairman guy. But I don't know everybody else's names. Did they have names? I don't know.
Looking at the Wikipedia, I was right. Her name is Malfair. Everyone else is either Apocalypse Inc. chairman, who's Rick Collins, who was great, by the way.
Yes.
He was so good. And literally every single other character is named Apocalypse Incorporated Executive.
Yep.
From, like, Don Eckhart all the way down to Michael Jai White. Mm-hmm. Except Dan Snow is still listed as Scarface.
Well, that's who he was. But my favorite bit of this was kind of a rehash from the first film where two guys are like pointing their guns at Toxie and Toxie jumps in the air and they shoot each other.
Yes.
But this film has a great like button on the joke where they shoot each other and the guy goes, "Oh shit!"
After they empty like 30 bullets into each other.
And then they fall over. No blood, no anything. Just like, no claps. It was very cartoony. I did laugh really hard at that joke.
So did I. Great opening, honestly.
Great, totally. So moving along with positives, I gotta kind of glance over some of the story stuff that gets established because I think most of it's negative. But Japan. My favorite, the way they introduce this immediately makes me laugh when Toxie says, "I took the fastest and most economical transportation possible." He takes like a wave
hand sailing
that clearly has a motor on it, and it's just like just going. He's like. On the harbor, you see the, New York in the background. I thought that was such a funny bit.
I liked it.
And he got this, because I didn't have my passport, I had to enter the country Godzilla style. And so then we get, pretty much the film just becomes a Toxic Avenger in Japan film.
That's pretty much all it is, like.
And I like it. Actually, I like the Japan stuff a lot. It's really funny.
Yeah, a lot of it is fun.
And I appreciate that they actually went to Japan and shot this. I mean, they shot a ton of this film in Japan.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they had like some cool shots. They had some nice setups. Like they actually kind of cared about the cinematography of showing off their location. They had establishing shots of Japan. All the filmmakers could learn from trauma. I never thought I'd say that sentence in my life.
And my favorite running gag from this is the news reporter who keeps interviewing people. So apparently
he's like a big deal in Japan at the time. Like he was
I can believe it.
He was like an actual legit Japanese celebrity news reporter. So I don't know how Lloyd got him, but I appreciate that he did because he's hilarious.
Well, I'm just gonna guess that Toxic Avenger the movie was actually really popular in Japan.
Yes,
that's one of those things that would not surprise me.
Yeah, probably.
So that's probably why they went to shoot there.
Probably. And
so they probably were to get him in. That also increases their marketability for Toxic Avenger Part 2 in Japan and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So, probably getting him made sense. But, this guy will keep interviewing people, saying something about a product or something, and then something will happen.
Yeah, the product's supposed to do something, and then some events caused by Toxie make it super work.
Yeah, my favorite one of that is he's talking to a guy talking about dried fish. Now, eating this fish will attract a smart woman, a sexy woman to him. So at one point, Toxie's fighting a bunch of kabuki people. One of them was a woman. A woman.
No, she was a woman with a Y.
She was... patriarchy. And he, strips her clothes off and, knocks her out. She's stumbling over, whoa, woozy, and she falls into the reporter's lap after eating the food. And
one of the funniest jokes in the movie.
He's like, whoa! He keeps doing this all the time. It makes me laugh so bad. So, part of this quest is that Melvin Junko is looking for, what was his father's name?
His father was, Big Mac.
Big Mac Junko, that's right.
Big Mac Junko.
Big Mac Junko. And he finds Big Mac Junko to find out, oh no, he's a drug smuggler, bad guy.
Oh no, and he's in the white slave trade, too.
And that leads to the whole thing with sumo stuff, and... I just love that the actor Rikiya Yasuoka is just being like overdubbed by Michael Hers.
Yes.
So he's clearly speaking these lines, but it's overdubbed so ridiculously.
So ridiculously.
Oh, Melvin!
My boy!
My boy! And of course, there's lots of like sushi jokes. There's a lot of like Japanese cuisine jokes. Melvin fights off some guys trying to attack a woman.
Masumi?
Yes.
I liked her a lot.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
I did as well. I thought she was great.
I thought she was a good character. She was interesting.
If we didn't have to deal with Claire back in Tromaville, we could have had Mizumi be the new love interest.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, we will. We will.
Oh my god.
This film has a lot more nudity in it than the first film.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. Some good tits. One of my favorite jokes from the whole Japan trip is when Toxie goes, "Bonsai!" Then a man walks over from off screen and hands Toxie a bonsai plant.
Yes. Great joke.
Good joke. It's so stupid, but
so fucking stupid.
I laughed so hard. And then he takes it, of course, and smashes it into a guy's face.
Yes.
And then Big Mac with cheese fights Toxie sumo style.
Oh, his traumatons get turned off.
Yes. And he heal. I like how that's supposed to be a big plot point, and they heal it just by purely him going to a sumo like dojo and learning the arts of sumo, and that's how he cures himself.
Yes.
Like the anti-traumatons actually do nothing to him. As we talk in part 3, like when the devil like morphs Toxie's mind, like when he melts, that is how I expected the anti-traumatons to affect Toxie. Nope, it just knocks him down. He goes, "Oh, I'm so weak." But it's okay. I went to sumo dojo and I learned. And
I got better.
Sumo. I'm perfectly fine now.
Perfectly fine now. I was surprised at how much respect Lloyd actually gave to sumo. Like he didn't make sumo a joke. Like it was. No. I think he had one fart sound effect when he squatted down, and that's it.
Yeah, they did some like squatting fart jokes, but the film has there's some worse fart jokes in this film.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we'll talk about that here shortly.
But I respect his restraint that he did treat this art form as like with respect and like.
Yeah, well, in '89, I mean, sumo's a work for those who don't know. It's like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And so in '89, kayfabe is still pretty heavy in effect. So I don't think they would do anything like I don't know, jeopardizing it. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think it made sense. And yeah, they talked about it. Talked about drinking the water, throwing out the purifying salt. Just like, yeah, it was a good scene. As ridiculous as it was seeing Toxie and the get up and everything, and doing sumo. Mm-hmm. It was pretty good. Although it's like everything here just doesn't matter until the third film. There's a lot of these weird things that are in this film but not really dealt with until the third film. And
yeah,
it's pretty hilarious. So when Toxic is heading back to Tromaville after finding out that Big Mac Junko, he had to kill him. The guy gets turned to sushi. I thought that was hilarious.
Yes.
Gets thrown at a table where a guy's like not paying attention, just chopping erratically because he sees that naked kabuki woman.
That hot naked kabuki woman.
Yeah. He's like, whoa! He's chopping up. It's funny how he's chopping up, but then when he realizes what he did, he's already like put Big Mac Junko's head in like a case and everything else.
Yeah.
And, like it was sushi. Yeah, like with that, like there's a lot of great establishing shots of like a fish market and everyone cutting up stuff for sushi or making the fried like tofu fish cake things.
Yeah,
that Toxie definitely uses on some guy's nose, and that looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. But returning to Tromaville, the Apocalypse Corporation has taken over, leading to one of my favorite jokes here, where it's just Michael Jai White beating two homeless people with a loaf of bread.
Yes.
Give me that and start whacking on
these people. Just beating the shit out of them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Really, like I said, when Toxie comes back, that's when the movie should have ended.
Agreed.
And,
instead,
that's where we go into negatives now.
I will say one last positive is the fact that we meet Melvin's real father, and it's just a dumb joke. Is like, oh no, that's Big Mac Bunko. I've been mistaken for him for years. He's ruined my credit with Visa and MasterCard.
I laughed really hard. I did laugh really hard at that.
That's the last positive of the film.
I'm glad you killed him.
I'm glad you killed him, yeah. And then he disappears forever again. We never see him again after that one scene.
we'll talk about
No,
that later.
no explanation as to why he left. No explanation as to why he came back. No explanation as to where he went again.
Bye!
I have to go. My planet needs me. Big Mac Junko died on his way home.
So funny. Oh my god. So let's before we we leave Japan, that's the end of our positives. Let's rewind back to the beginning and go through our negatives.
My first biggest negative, Claire.
Oh really? That's your first? My first is the terrible video opening credits.
Oh yeah, those are terrible.
They look terrible. Jesus Christ.
Yes, those look really bad.
And then the new actors. So then yes, Claire.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know why they did this to Toxic's girlfriend. I don't know why she's mega slutty now. I don't know why she's Claire now. I don't know why she plays an accordion now. I don't know anything. Also, she's not a very good actress.
No.
Like, it'd be...
No, she is not a very good actress, but I think that, well...
I'm willing to blame Lloyd, not her. Honestly.
You can totally say the whole, like, well, she's supposed to be acting ridiculous and, like, for the role, but I'm like, you can act ridiculous and still do it well, and I don't think she was hired purely because she had looks.
Yeah.
And she could play the accordion.
Yes.
And trust me, she's gorgeous in this film.
Yeah, I mean, she looks good.
Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the fucking slutty outfit she's wearing, and she looks good. I'm not gonna, deny that. But for the role she's in, especially from Claire from the first film...
Sarah.
Oh, sorry, it was Sarah. Why is it... Okay.
Yeah, why is she Claire? Yeah!
I was confused. Thank you for covering that, because I was like, why? I didn't think it was Claire. I'm like, okay, I guess it's Claire now. Okay, thank you. So they changed the name, they changed the actress. I don't understand why. I feel that, like I said, this is when Troma's been going for. I feel like they're in the mode now where it's just everything has to be pure sleaze.
Yes.
There's pure sleaze.
They're dropping the charm
out.
and adopting more sleaze.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Troma started losing me real quick.
I'm the same way. Like I like, hey, she's a sexy lady, great. But everything else in this, like, I don't know, that character, and maybe I'll say like, not exactly that character, but like that type of look, that type of thing, and something else where everything else isn't so grody and I don't really like shit on the film that much. Like I can appreciate the weird, gross out, cartoony slapstick that is part 2 and like a lot of Troma's films. Mm-hmm. But when they want to do all this like gross out stuff, like she lives in a fucking dump heap of a trailer in a sewage plant. No, sewage.
It's the dump, yeah.
Yeah, it's the dump in this trailer, and everything else is so gross. But she's supposed to be like walking around in high heels, like thigh highs with garter belt, like, oh, I'm so sexy. It's like, so you want to make this gross out thing, but then like throw in like super sexy women. I'm like, what are you going? It's like the themes are so like jumbled together. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand like what the intended point of it is.
Right.
Like what they're going for besides just trying to be sleazy for the sake of being sleazy. And I don't really care for that usually. Like I prefer if you were sleazy and just upfront about being sleazy, but going to a point where you're just doing as much as possible just to be sleazy and try to be edgy and like, oh, we're Troma, this is what we do.
Yeah.
That's when it's too much for me.
Agreed completely.
Because I can love sleaze, and I love filmmakers who just make something that feels like the only way to watch it is in a film filled with cigarette smoke and neon lights. Mm-hmm. I like that just fine. Everyone who knows me knows that. But like I said, there's a point where it's just like too much, and this film is just too much.
Yeah,
and most of Troma's films are too much. Given the reason why I don't like most of Troma's films.
Yeah, seriously.
Because it's just like what. You're trying too hard.
And that's the thing. Like, they used to just, as we said, they used to just be charming. They were their own thing. And then as time went on, they got sleazier and sleazier and just tryhards.
Up their own ass about it. Like,
yeah.
This is a Troma film. Troma films need to have ridiculous gore, gross out.
You gotta see fat guys' dicks.
You gotta have a chicken,
Poop
like,
jokes.
burst out of a man's asshole, look like he's shitting everywhere. It's like, oh, it's gross. You have this film, for example, have the Toxic Avenger taking a shit.
Yeah.
He's just sitting on the toilet taking a shit, lots of fart noises and like electrical effects. God, that scene pissed me off because it's like 4 minutes of him just shitting.
Yeah, it's really long.
The camera just panning around slowly, like, yeah, we know he's shitting. We
get it. He's mega shitting.
And then they reuse the fucking footage anyways.
Yeah.
God damn it. The soundtrack for this film is fucking garbage as well.
Yeah, it's terrible. Except for, I do like the Toxic Avenger theme song.
The metal theme song for the film is fine, but all like the shitty like MIDI music and like they keep using "Ain't Got That Swing" and
yeah, what the fuck was up with that? Why?
It's here.
Why is that there?
God. It's like throughout the entire movie. It's like the like song for the film they reuse over and over and over and over. Because that like 20-minute fight scene at the blind center for the blind when he's fighting all the Apocalypse Corporation goons, it's just playing constantly, constantly playing.
Hey, Lloyd, do you think we should use some of this $2.3 million to pay a musician to do, like, just some music? Nah, fuck that!
Well, they apparently did pay him. There is a musician in the credits for doing the score for the film. It's like, this score is just terrible. So when all the stuff at Troma, when Tox is in Japan, I don't like a lot. It's like this joke. They did this joke, but they didn't do anything with it. They talk about how they're like some activists are trying to stop the Apocalypse Corporation from destroying the bird sanctuary.
Yes,
and there's addicts, and these guys like they call them crap addicts, like they're smoking pieces of shit out of little porcelain toilet pipes.
And that's it.
What was that joke?
It was a poop joke.
It's nothing but that, because it's never called back to later. It's not really anything that focused on. Like, you can barely make out. Like, you have to be actually paying really close attention to what these people are doing to get the crap addict joke. I was just like, what is that?
What the fuck?
And then I did like one joke where it's like, they say, "Is that your horse?" Yeah, it's environmentally friendly.
Yeah, that joke was good.
I did appreciate the hippie riding around on a horse and buggy. that made me laugh. And of course they did. I also did actually kind of like them getting run over by like a truck.
Yes.
That looked pretty good. I gotta admit.
Was it in 2 or 3, and it blends together because they're the same fucking movie, literally. Was it 2 or 3 that had the chairman quote Shakespeare to the homeless lady that said, "Fuck you," in response? Because that was a good joke.
No, that was 2, because that was when they were they were showing more scenes of just the corporation taking over. So they go to a gazebo in the park, and he says something in Spanish.
Neither like a giver nor a taker. William Shakespeare.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, fuck you." Then there's a quote from somebody.
Yeah,
it was kind of a funny line.
I thought that was funny. Apparently, it also took like 60 takes to get the old woman to say it correctly.
Oh, Jesus,
yeah, in the behind the scenes, the Rick Collins, the chairman, talked about how it was so hard because she kept on saying, instead of saying like "fuck you," comma, like as if that's a quote, and then the guy's name, she kept on saying "fuck you," guy's name.
Oh, so it's like calling the chairman that person's name.
Yes. So apparently at one point it was like a 10-minute long period of time when Lloyd Kaufman just kept on yelling "fuck you" at this old lady to get her to repeat back, and he kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and then he just once said the proper line, and then she responded back to the line properly after all that time.
Oh my god. 2.3 million people.
2.3 million.
So, I guess the biggest negative then from there is when we come back from Japan, and then the film goes on for like another 30 minutes.
Before we get to that, I do want to say that as much as I do like Japan as a whole, I do think that they milk a lot of time in Japan. There's a lot of wasted stuff that they just put in because they filmed it. Yes. And it's just like, there's just random people jumping from the rooftops to have a really shitty, overly long action sequence with Toxie. Going back to one of my complaints about the first film is that they keep on putting these action sequences in, and they're always really long and not good, but they're there anyway.
Like the battle at the Center for the Blind. Trust me, I thought there's some good jokes and some good gore.
Yeah, it was good jokes, but that was like
a
15-minute scene that should have been 6.5 minutes.
No, and I totally agree about the Japan stuff. There's some funny jokes I liked. I like when he's walking around, she made me look like a Japanese businessman.
It's just him with a hat in his jacket.
He's got a wig, a jacket, and has a camera around his neck.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
But I do agree, yeah. But there's some bits where he's like, he's going to fight some kabuki people.
Like when he's chasing down his dad, and it's just going and going and going. Just what the fuck is this?
Yeah, this film could easily been 80 minutes.
This film could have easily been 40 minutes, with the second half being him fighting the Apocalypse guys, maybe.
That's fair. There's so many ways you can go with this, but my biggest edit, which I'm sorry if I was jumping the gun here, was the the quote unquote climax.
Oh my god, fuck this thing. This is the worst part of the film, absolutely.
This is really what brings down the entire film for me. The film, like I said, the film should have ended when he comes back from Japan. He should have come back, found out Tromaville's been taking over, and be like, oh, what am I going to do? Then make it a cliffhanger.
To be continued. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what they do
Hey guys,
I guess...
remember when I complained about Ernest writing a canon for too fucking long?
Oh, Jesus.
I have the exact same complaint about this, except it's Toxie in a taxi cab in between a Jewish elderly couple for like 30 fucking minutes. And chasing a guy on a motorcycle. I don't know what his plan is.
Oh, here's the plan. The plan is, okay, get this. I paid note to this because it made zero fucking sense. The quote-unquote Black Rider has 300 pounds of nitroglycerin on him, and he's going to drive into City Hall and destroy Tromaville.
Where is that nitroglycerin?
That's a good question. Second question, he does blow up, but by just running into a building at the end, but he doesn't destroy Tromaville, so how well was this plan going to work in the first place?
Clearly not at all.
But no, it has to turn into the Toxic Avenger has to stop the Black Rider. He gets into a cab, tells the cabbie to drive, and it's just a overly long chase scene.
It lost me at least 5 times.
That literally just ends with the Black Rider just like accidentally like driving into a garage and blowing up.
Yep. Yeah, Toxic does almost nothing.
It means nothing. It does nothing. What was the point of any of this?
Nothing. There was no fucking point. It's the laziest way to end a film to fucking milk out another movie with all your extra footage that I've seen, possibly ever. It was terrible.
No kidding. If you're gonna watch the second Toxic Avenger film, you have no reason to watch past when he comes back from Japan.
Just turn it off.
Because the last 30 plus minutes don't matter.
At all.
They mean nothing. Because what he does is he runs Apocalypse Corporation out of town. We're showing them, like, apparently, like, destitute. Like, having to hitch their way back to New York or something.
Yeah.
And guess what? None of it matters.
None of it matters because they're at full power in the third film anyway.
Which we'll get to in the next episode. But it's just like, what a way to shit on your fucking film.
Yeah.
But this is trauma, so what? I can't be surprised.
Yeah. Not anymore after this point.
No, absolutely. After the first, especially, you can go back you listen to last week's episode. You hear how much, like, glowing positivity we have about the first film.
Yeah.
And this film is so quickly just flushes it down the
just
shitter.
Fuck it. Who cares?
No, we got all this money. Let's just fucking pocket it. Make it as cheap, sleazy, garbage trash as possible. Any sense of like creativity and good filmmaking that we exhibited in the first film, fuck it. Don't give a shit.
Or in even like the beginning of the second film.
Yeah,
and just fuck it.
Which all this is going to be amplified in the next review.
Oh my god.
Everything just jumped up to 11. So let's just call it here. Final thoughts on Toxic Avenger Part 2, unless there's some other like final things like negative bits you want to talk to before.
Nothing that super sticks out to me. No. I would say just final thoughts in general. It's a movie that could have been a legitimately solid sequel. It starts off well enough. It still has the issues from the first film, like I said, of like poor action sequences lasting too long and pacing kind of going to shit for the first like 2 acts of the film. But it's otherwise at that point it's still a very solid, at least like a 3.5 out of 5 solid good movie. But fuck, as soon as he gets back from Japan, like you said, this movie just jumps off the fucking cliff.
Absolutely. I think if you could still have some of the problems of the first film and work with them, and it's okay for that. But then just keep building on the same kind of stuff you had in the first film. But this, like I said, like you said, and we both said, this film is off a cliff.
Yeah,
it's so sad because I like a lot. Like I said, I like a lot of the Japan stuff. The Japan stuff's really fun. If you could cut the Japan stuff to its own little film, leave the Tromaville like cut away stuff to a minimum, and cut out the ending, this film would be pretty close in score and quality as the first film.
Yeah.
Like if it was purely just a Toxic Avenger Goes to Japan.
Yep.
This review had been so much more glowing. Because most of, like I said, 90% of the stuff in Japan's pretty good. And I laugh, and it's enjoyable, and he's just trying to fit in, have a good time. He's dancing in the streets with some band and a bunch of other people, and scaring poor hapless Japanese people, yes. And it's enjoyable, so... Man, what a letdown.
What a letdown for sure.
So, star rating. Steve, what do you give the Toxic Avenger Part 2?
Well, since I respect the first 2 acts for what they are, and really only Act 3 is where everything goes to dog shit, it brings it down a lot for me. A lot, but that doesn't make the movie a complete bust, but I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. I'm in that same ballpark. I gave it 2.5. Mm-hmm. Like, which is about close in the score for the same reasons. Like, cut little bits in the beginning, the Japanese stuff, like that stuff's fine, and it's just the Tromaville stuff in the ending that just drops it down so much. Mm-hmm. So that's where we stay on that. So join us next time, guys, for Toxic Avenger Part 3, the last temptation of Toxic.
Avenge with a vengeance.
Avenge with a vengeance, dudes. If you guys have any tips and tricks about how we could edit this to save this film, maybe get a release that's in widescreen, because everything is still full screen that's available. That's kind of upsetting.
That's trauma.
That is trauma. Thank God for Full Moon actually having some integrity.
Full Moon cares about their movies, at least.
These trauma reviews are purely going to be, we shit on Charles Band, but he's not as bad as Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
I will give the respect where respect is due. We are discussing the third Toxic Avenger film, The Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, from 1989. Toxie finds he has nothing to do as a superhero, as he has ridden the city of evil. He decides to go work for a major corporation, which he discovers may be the evilest of all his adversaries.
Jesus fucking Christ, I hate this movie already. This fucking makes no sense. How does he not fucking recognize Apocalypse Inc. when he was just fucking fighting Apocalypse Inc. in the last fucking movie that came out last fucking year? And timeline-wise, I think this takes place like 3 weeks after the last fucking movie. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah.
Let's get into positives.
Actually, I think both these movies were released in the same year.
No, I thought it was 80.
No, February for Part 2, February of 89, and then November of 89 for Part 3.
Oh my god, I thought they at least released this one in 1990.
Nope, it's 89.
Oh my god, okay.
Same runtime as the first one, fun fact.
Go figure. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so overall thoughts, before we get into, our general positives and negatives. Overall thoughts is that this movie is a piece of dog shit.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. This is clearly just completely feels like we shot too much, so let's do that bullshit ending for Part 2 and then use what we got left for Part 3 here.
Maybe film a couple new bits.
Film a few new bits for sure. Some wraparound stuff to connect stuff to make it make sense. Let's fuck the script. Who cares if it makes sense? Who cares if any of this works? Let's just do this.
Who cares about pacing? Who cares about
fuck pacing?
Proper filmmaking? Who cares about anything? We have money in a movie to make.
Who cares?
Let's get that VHS cash.
Who cares about how we've characterized Toxie for the past 2 films? Let's literally make him retarded in this movie.
And evil.
And evil. Who cares about any quality? Who cares about good effects? Except a little bit at the end. But even that's pushing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say, I don't know. I think the effects are pretty good.
They come and go for me.
It's trauma.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a positive and a negative when it comes to the film world. If you're talking about trauma, it's like, wow, this movie, it's a trauma movie. You don't know what that's supposed to entail.
What does that
anymore?
mean?
It just entails this cheap piece of shit.
Yeah, these days, that's what it means.
But then if you make something like... this has been my fucking biggest beef for a long time. When Hobo with the Shotgun came out, I'm like, this is great. I love this movie. But Trauma fans are like, this is shit. This movie's trying to be Trauma. I'm like, this is what Trauma used to be, you fuckers.
That's what Trauma should still be.
This film's great because it's like classic Trauma. But like people nowadays are like, ugh. Like, to have this fucking cross a dime for fucking Lloyd Kaufman. It's like, yeah, he's done a lot for the movie industry as a whole. But he has done nothing of quality in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Fuck you. God, sorry, there's my rant moment. Because
Fuck it.
Because I loved Hobo with a Shotgun. Because I love Rutger Hauer. But, Jewish Video Store. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, Jewish Video Store was funny. One other positive for me, Cigar Face has more dialogue.
He does.
He's
very much Cigar Face. He has the cigar and everything.
Yep. Another positive for me is that at the beginning of Toxic Avenger 2, the Indian gets his ears ripped off.
Yeah, and he's in the film with his ears wrapped up.
And he's just, like, consistently putting, like, his hand to his wrapped up ears going, huh? Like, a lot, and that's a dumb side joke, but it made me laugh a lot, because it was just stupid enough. Mm-hmm. Another positive was near the end of the film. That's how far I'm skipping ahead for positives. Mm-hmm. The beginning and now the end is, I like the joke of, hey, I'll give you $1,000 to run that guy over with a lawnmower. Oh, fuck, the budget of the whole movie is only $2 million. I'll give you $30! Give you $30! I like that joke. Especially because the lawnmower guy's still like, yeah, fuck yeah! As if $30 is like, absolutely.
Yeah, murder. I don't think I don't think it was super noticeable in the second film, but this film has a lot of weird meta jokes.
A lot of weird meta jokes. Like the second one had one, and it was like, we need to do this to make sure that there's a Toxic Avenger 3.
Yeah, this film is like, remember in part 2 and all this? It's like, stop it.
Oh yeah, I think in in 2 they reference like real 9 of the first movie as well. Mm-hmm. But that's like 2 meta jokes. This movie has like a meta joke every 5 scenes. This is the Family Guy of Toxic Avenger movies.
It's true. This is kind of something that happened in 2, but it's way more apparent in this film. There's a lot of narration from the Toxic Avenger, and clearly it's there to help link all this footage together.
Yeah, like, whoa, let's not actually show this linking. Let's just show you the random shit we filmed and have a narration explaining why it's combined.
Yeah, because like in the first film, the second film, we didn't mention this, but this kind of ties in this. Like, the film starts with him basically introducing the new actors playing characters, like my mom, and here's a piece of footage that's reused in part 3. And my girlfriend Claire, which is a piece of footage that's reused in part 3.
Yeah.
And there is my psychologist, which they only talk about. There's like a 5-minute scene with her, and she's never seen again.
Ever.
It's like it's like that. I thought that I forgot to talk about the second one. I thought that was a pretty funny scene. He's talking like how she went from Freudian to something else, and she's just like fucking writing him.
Yeah. Talking
about how he has to find his father, and that was a pretty funny scene. But that character is never seen again. Similar to how we said in the second film review. In the third film, Melvin's father is just never seen again.
Ever.
If they actually talk about his father still being gone. Like, I can't believe, I wish I had my father, but he's been gone for years. Motherfucker, he was here the last film.
Yep.
You fucking, what the shit is this?
Like, they didn't care. They didn't. Do you have any positives? Any other ones?
I'm looking at my list here. Hold on. There's one joke I really laughed at. It's because during most of the film, Toxie's very depressed. Mm-hmm. And he decides he's going to kill himself. So he goes to a tunnel and looks like there's a car coming. And then it turns
2 motorcycles.
It's 2 motorcycles.
No, yeah, I did forget. That is a legitimately great joke.
I laughed really hard at that.
That's a legitimately great joke. I like that.
I also did kind of laugh at when Claire was getting the operation to get her eyesight back. And you think that the whole setup for the joke is that she's going to see the doctor and then like go, oh my god, you're so sexy, but then see Melvin and go, oh my god, you're so ugly. But no, she does scream in reaction to the doctor, and then still loves Toxic. Like, there was no like worrying about her not loving him anymore. And
my favorite part is how after the surgery she kept on going back and forth on acting blind and not acting blind.
I think part of it was that she's blind, but she's also supposedly supposed to be being played as very ditzy.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
And I think they confused the two.
I blame Lloyd.
Oh, no, yeah, totally. Blame Lloyd.
And Mike, I guess, because he also directed it. It's unfair to just blame Lloyd. There were 2 directors on this film. I do say, I don't know if it's supposed to be a joke or if it's just pure laziness, but I like the fact that they keep on going to church, which is a Christian church with a priest, but everyone is Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, Melvin's Jewish, his mom's Jewish, Claire's Jewish. Uh-huh. But they're going to church.
Yeah, she's at church singing Swing Low and wearing, like, a American flag dress.
Yeah.
Like, I laugh a little, but that's verging still in that department of sleaze, which, like, man, Claire is way more slutted up in this film.
Way more slutted up. Yeah, Amazing Grace, but I'm a whore. I mean, I don't mind the fact that you're a whore, but this is just sleaze for sleaze at this point.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that all last week.
The smallest joke, which I also really laughed at, is this is supposed to be establishing for later. I don't know how it plays into anything because it doesn't matter later. How Toxie's talking about him and Claire playing 5 levels of Doom, which is like how he got Claire really into playing video games and she plays by ear. Some random guy walks into frame and is like, oh man, 5 levels of doom, huh?
Good stuff.
And then he just walks off.
It just leaves.
It means nothing. I laughed so hard. It was like, What the fuck is that? That was a good joke. I really laughed at that. But part of the problem with that scene is they established 5 levels of doom as this game that Claire's apparently really, really good at and Toxic in her play. But then later the devil makes them do 5 levels of doom, and none of it comes into play.
No, it's stupid.
And a lot of it gets really just lost. Like, what is the meaning of any of this?
It's pointless and stupid. Video games are kind of popular, so let's reference that.
Let's reference that.
Jesus Christ. One scene that I thought was actually handled kind of well was the actual temptation of Toxie on the mountaintop.
Yes.
I
do like how he's like, where have I heard this before?
Yeah, and I like the play on it. Instead of like worship me, it's work for me. Which, it worked. Like, I thought that was kind of clever. The matte painting behind them and in front of them looked solid. I thought it was actually, compared to everything else in the film, that was a scene that was actually handled really well, and I liked how it was played out. Yeah,
and Toxie's realization of, oh, he wasn't saying work for me, he was saying worship me.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Yes, you are, Toxic. In this film,
yes,
you're very fucking dumb.
Literally retarded.
Oh my god. That's the worst. And then final positive, the end of the film, there's a callback.
The credits start, and that's the end. That's the big positive for me when it's over. But no, yeah, that joke is fantastic. Again, it's the same joke that we loved from the second film of like, oh, this makes you grow hair. And then it's fucking...
They didn't put any subtitles on that. I thought that was really strange. There's plenty of subtitles in the second film, like what he's talking about the product. This one, there's no subtitles. There's talking Japanese and he's spraying stuff. I understand. We get context of what it's about.
Yeah, I will at least say that I understood what was happening, so it wasn't a detriment, but there's no reason why there shouldn't have been subtitles.
But if let's say you haven't seen the second film, or it's been a really long time since you've seen the second film, you won't get that reference. You won't understand what the fuck is going on.
At all.
It really needed subtitles just purely to say what the product was. So I just felt like the joke was there, but I feel like they could have handled it a lot better. But I like that. But then the credits rolled, and then that was probably the best part of the film.
Yeah.
So let's just jump on into the negatives. Negative of this film is that it exists.
Yeah, everything else about the movie. So yeah, so my biggest fucking problem, as I was yelling at the start of this episode, is that the plot makes no sense. And I say that understanding that it's Lloyd Kaufman and a trauma film. Mm-hmm. Apocalypse Inc. was in the last film. The entire plot was about fighting Apocalypse Inc. Toxie fought Apocalypse Inc. He tore down signs from Apocalypse Inc. and he kicked Apocalypse Inc. out of town. All of a sudden, he gets a letter from Apocalypse Inc. He goes to Apocalypse Inc. and at no point does he go, oh yeah, I remember these guys. Nope, just total fucking amnesia because it's convenient, and that's the laziest fucking shit. Like, that sort of shit is a sin in my book. Like, that I can never look past, is something like that.
Yeah, where it just expects you to, forget the last film, expect all the characters of the film to just be stupid as beyond all hell, just for the plot to work. And I agree with you. I can't stand that. Like,
I can look past a lot, but that immediately set a bad taste in my mouth. It makes no sense. There's no reason for this to happen. It's just to set up the plot. But hey, motherfuckers, maybe have not had Apocalypse Inc. in the last film, or made them more secretive, or, not have this be the fucking plot of this film.
Yeah, make it like a subsidiary of Apocalypse Inc. taking over Tromaville.
Yeah!
Not have included the chairman, or even in the third film, make it not Apocalypse Inc. Have the same story, just make it a different chairman and a different company. Mm-hmm. Like maybe call it, I don't know, just Doomsday Inc. or something.
Yeah, if the company name would have been Doomsday Inc., totally not Apocalypse Inc., I would have laughed at that joke and been okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been that. I think. Well, trust why it wouldn't save the film. It's a film that still has
way more issues.
It would have at least alleviated a major problem in the film.
Yeah.
But of course, this is a lot of footage they used from the second film, and they already have all this Apocalypse, corporation stuff. They can't really do that. Mm-hmm. So this is what we get.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. We get a lot more of Melvin's mother in this, which I hate. We also get a Melvin recast, a new actor playing Melvin.
Who is... I don't know how much I want to blame the actor for being terrible, because, again, I blame the directors more often than actors whenever there's bad acting, and clearly the way he's written and was told to act was supposed to be fucking grating. And he's wearing a shittier version of the tutu. He has chiclet buck teeth for some reason.
Like, Melvin didn't talk like that.
No.
Melvin didn't look like that. I don't know what you're going for here.
At all.
Melvin was kind of like just a weird, squirrely guy. He wasn't this.
He was weird, but that's it.
Yeah. And this, what they're doing with this is, I found this kind of verging on offensive.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the character from the first film compared to now, it's like, what is this?
What the fuck is this? Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. Could I get the same actor back or something?
Not till the fourth film.
Oh. All this money. $2.3 million, guys.
2.3. They claim the budget for 3 is $500,000, which, that's all they had left.
Yeah.
To film the in-between shots, which were still terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in this movie. Like, where the fuck do I start? I mean, and not
using the shit scene. That was cinematic gold. Mwah, magnifique.
Gotta use it again. Make it even longer.
Keep using it. Oh, Melvin's mom's coming in now. Oh, get it? Because Melvin eats cleaning products. What?
Get it?
Get it? Clorox. Claire, you're going to get your eyesight back.
Claire needs her eyesight back. That has to be a plot point for some reason.
And he's got to get money for it.
Gotta get the money for it. And he only gets literally enough money for just the surgery, which means he's still homeless, I assume.
No, he still lives in his cool little dump.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's his home. He's not homeless.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Jesus, Steve, didn't you watch the fucking movie?
She gets her sight back, and not much comes of that, except that it gets taken away again and then given back again.
Yeah, it's like, I take it away. Then she's looking for the contract. I'm like, oh, just so you can see again? What? I don't.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's no.
So.
Yeah, go.
I was gonna say, so what gets me is like the last 40 minutes of the film. The chairman. Chairman. Man, that would have been better than this. The chairman just literally turned into the devil himself.
He is the devil.
And is going to challenge Toxie to the 5 levels of doom. And then there's just these scenes that I don't understand what they have to do with each other, what the point of them is. I'm at a loss. Everything's at breakneck speed. There's really no explanations, no linking, and I'm just like, what's happening now? Why? Okay, now the devil's on fire. They're burning that costume, and now Toxie's just gonna piss like a fire hose on him. Then there's kids in a bus, and then Toxie melts into Melvin, and then there's an act of God for some reason.
Jesus, yeah, the ending of this movie just really goes to shit. And what's up with Toxie being a total dickwad to literally everyone in the town?
Yeah.
Because, like, it's one thing when you're being tricked into being a spokesman for them. Like,
but yeah, becoming an asshole is like... Yeah,
like, that part actually kind of was okay, aside from, what the complaints I just had. Of him, like, kind of standing to the side being like, hey, no, guys, this guy knows what he's talking about. Like... Yeah. If it was just like that would have made a whole lot more sense than like, oh, I'm helping them go to literally concentration camps and I see nothing wrong with the situation.
Or he's even like in the narration talking about, they were really beating my friends and I was really confused why they were doing that. And it's like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
First off, this first and second film, especially the second film, is centered all around these traumatrons. I'm trying to make sure I say it correctly.
Traumatons.
It's traumatons. Sorry, yeah. Traumatons. Even to the fact that they develop anti-traumatons to battle this. The traumatons are supposed to be used as a means for the Toxic Avenger to identify evil and then just be able to battle evil and kill evil.
Yeah.
Yet he's surrounded by evil people in this corporation. This film just forgets all about them.
Completely.
Throws them out the fucking window, even though that was a big deal in the second film, and they even reference the second film. Which is also to a detriment because, like we said in the second film review, his father is just plumb gone from this movie.
I think, maybe, and I'm giving them way too much credit here. Establishing that right now. I think maybe that the anti-traumaton stuff literally is working. and that's why he can't sense evil, because his traumatons no longer work.
But they make it, but they don't, hey,
but they never established that!
They never established that. That's my biggest beef with that.
Yeah.
That's okay to maybe fan theorize that, but they never established it. They never talk about them again from the second film to the third film.
No.
Right? We're led to believe in the second film that he is, through sumo training at the dojo, he is fully healed, and that all the anti-traumatons did was just sap his power.
Yeah.
And that's all they did. They just made him weaker, but he was able to, train via sumo style at the dojo and become back to his full strength and come back to America, back to Tromaville, and defeat the Apocalypse Corporation, who apparently did not suffer anything.
Yeah.
They even this film even has tons of footage of the first film. Again, don't show footage of a better film in your film. That's always a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They're referencing stuff they clearly know they exist, but they just want to select little individual pieces that fits their story and their narrative. They don't want you to remember anything else about those films.
Yeah.
Please stop. My biggest gripe, though, sometimes it's used for a joke, so I kind of understand it, is how they sometimes want his touch to be melting, but other times it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like when he gets a job at the video store to try to raise money, and he's handing the tapes to the rabbi, whatever, the Jewish video store owner is like, Melvin, what have I told you about touching the tapes? You can't touch the tapes. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
And he's melting them, but he touches all this stuff all the time, doesn't melt anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know this is a ridiculous thing to ask for, but can we have some form of consistency?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
Just a little tiny bit.
It's so wildly inconsistent to where it's just for jokes, and it just doesn't... It just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
I completely agree.
Because he'll go the entire second film not doing anything like that. The first film, he pops some popcorn. Then this film, he's melting videotapes, but he's carrying a briefcase around working for the IRS, or he's doing tons of stuff, but he's not affecting anything else.
Yeah, not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous and stupid.
That video store scene was so fucking long and too meta.
So long, and
we want to rent movies from Troma. Oh Jesus Christ! Just suck your dick some more, Lloyd. Come on.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure you can get it all the way in there.
I'll half defend that and say part of that could just be they didn't want to worry about rights for other movies, so let's just put up posters for the movies that we all have rights to.
No, you can put up posters, but having your actors and characters in this film just jerk off Troma films.
Oh no, yeah, that stuff I completely agree with. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can have posters, you can have the stupid Toxic Avenger display thing, whatever. That's fine. I do like the joke for that, where he's like, "Man, these cardboard displays are really lifelike."
Yeah.
I mean, there's some I find posters like this. You can get them as references to other Troma films. But sitting there I don't want Universal movies. I want Troma movies. They're the best. Oh Jesus Christ, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can hit the back of your throat if you really try, Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's just it bothered me a lot.
Completely agree.
But that happens a lot from now on in Troma films. They are so self-referential,
yes.
To a detriment. I feel, anyways.
No, I agree completely.
And that really bothered me. Looking at some notes here, I still hate Claire. We talked about that.
Yep, still hate Claire. Even worse in this film.
She is, because she's just doing more. She has a lot more stuff to do in this film. There's sex scenes. I do not like.
No.
There's a point where it can be comical, but what they do is not funny.
No, it's not.
It's oh, get it? She's sucking his dick, and she's being all crazy. Whoa! Whopping her head all over the fucking place underneath the fucking sheets. Oh, is this your love machine? Wah!
Since you said "blah," I just pictured Freddy Krueger saying that.
Time for a blowjob! Oh, Jesus. I'm at a loss with this movie.
That's the thing. I feel that's the best way to describe this film, is the entire thing is a loss of my brain cells, of my time, of any quality, of any effort. It makes no sense.
The melting Melvin special effects looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it, though. I mean, the devil design is okay. I kind of appreciate that they went with, making him green as opposed to, a more stereotypical red type deal.
It's a regular devil suit. The makeup and stuff is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
And they clearly burn one of the suits.
Yeah, set that shit on fire.
Which part of me thinks they only had one suit, and that was just the last thing.
Last shot, absolutely.
Better not fuck this up because we only have one. We only have $2.3 million here, these guys. You know,
Can't afford more than one.
Can't afford more than one. We wanted to take a vacation to Japan, so
that's basically what it was. And yeah, like, getting back to what you said about the ending is it makes no sense. Like, they make an off reference to the 5 levels of Doom in one shot. Like, not even a scene, in one shot in Act 1. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, that's what the entire ending's about, and those levels don't even make sense after, like, level 2.
Nope.
Like, oh, it's the level of Earth. Okay, he sinks to the Earth. Okay. Sure. Level 2's fire. The devil's on fire. I'm not sure what his endgame is here, because he's just on fire.
I know.
Like, he shoots him with fire, and then he gets put out. Like, what's plan B, devil? And then he gets...
And there's kids on a school
What's
bus.
the school? Is that supposed to be wind? Because nothing about that seems like wind. It seems like they were just driving the school bus off a cliff, but the Toxie took all the kids off, and then Malfair gets crushed by the bus, and then the devil builds the bus again. That was a decent...
I did appreciate the fact that that actress was literally shooting a shotgun full of blanks, because, like, it's actually... The sound is the real shotgun, and she's taking the kickback from it. That was a little itty-bitty thing. I liked it.
No, yeah, that was solid. The Wizard of Oz joke could have been funny if it was just the feet getting sucked up, but they added on the "I'm melting" line, which makes no sense.
What do you... You're being crushed. Why are you... What? Melting?
That makes no sense. It's a different witch.
Just showing the feet rolling up is enough. We get the reference.
We get it. We get it, guys. It's okay.
It's a pretty prolific film.
I don't know if you guys have seen this movie or heard of it. It's called The Wizard of Oz.
Have you guys heard of this? I heard there's Wizard of Oz. You hear about this?
Did you hear about this? It's going to be a classic. Let me tell you, these kids.
It's in color. You know about color films, right?
Oh, yeah.
Them talkies?
The talkies. We got the talkies going on.
The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, my God. And then the next level is literally just hitting him into a pool of water, and then he gets out of the pool of water and he wins. And it's just, what the fuck was that? Like, clearly you just pulled that out of your ass. And then stage 5 is, I guess...
The mind!
The mind, but it's not the mind. He melts his body.
Yeah, I don't understand what that was about.
And like you said, that effect looks solid. I like that effect a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty gruesome. It looked pretty good.
And then human shit offensive... Fuck you, Melvin pops out. Oh my God. And again, he's being treated as, like, literally retarded. Like, that's not what Melvin was at all. He wasn't this bad. Ever.
Nope.
And, like, Melvin's biggest detriment when he was human was that he was really mega fucking shy. Yeah. He wouldn't, like, immediately lose his past, like, years of confidence and revert back to that, except a more stereotypical version of that. Mm-hmm. And so he kind of tries to fight the devil, which I appreciate that they at least had him do that instead of just being a complete waste, but he does nothing. And I do appreciate that the townsfolk were still like, no, fuck you, devil! We're not taking your side. You're literally the devil. Yeah. And then...
But we made everything better in Tromaville.
Literally not!
There's a scene where they're just making people throw up. I didn't understand what the point of that was.
Oh, they said that it's because of the toxic radiation in the site that they were at. That if they didn't throw up, they would die.
What is that?
Exactly.
What is the point of any of this?
Gotta have throwing up scenes because it's sleazy.
We're trauma, guys. That's what a trauma film is like. It doesn't have to be, but that's what it's like.
And then they call back to his sumo stuff again.
Yeah, here, Melvin, put this on. Then he's like... Then we get called back to them sumo training about how you have to be the first to attack if you're fighting someone that's you know that you're equal or better than you.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but then he just kills the devil. No, sorry. There's an act of God.
Only an act of God can break the contract.
Yeah.
And then some dude wearing a shirt that says angel on it, in case it's not fucking clear.
Nope. Might as well put him in a white robe with feather wings and a halo over his head.
Although I don't mind the line leading up to that where the devil says there's nobody more important than me, and he's like, oh fuck, well I guess him. That wasn't bad. But then yeah, the act of God just turns Toxie back into Toxie, and then all of the devil's powers are gone!
Yep, and then Toxie literally just kills the devil. So we live in a universe now where there's a god, but the devil is dead.
Yes. He literally rips off his skin, which leaves a bunch of bugs.
Yep.
And then he then throws his head into Japan.
Which lands on some guy's head, and the guy's screaming while the reporter is fascinated.
Fascinated.
Great final little joke of the film, because I did like that part.
Yeah, that's...
Everything before it was terrible.
Terrible. I think Michael J. White lives, so that's a positive.
True. There are some good reaction scenes with him.
Yeah.
He's still in this film doing a couple things.
And he's still hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's so funny, because... It's one thing to be like, you can spend time. Like, this episode could be longer, on most other things, but there's nothing to talk about. Like, it's just scenes that are pointless, have no real context or nothing happening that's really that worth dissecting and talking about how bad it is, because it's just like, this is just pointless.
Yeah, everything in this is pointless.
There's scenes where he's, working for Apocalypse Corporation. I always want to say Inc., but Apocalypse Corporation. And he's all get it now? He's like a fucking preppy guy. Hey, baby, just do lunch. Now he's hammering signs and evicting people. It's there's just scenes of no consequence, of nothing really of any matter happening. There's nothing going on in them. It's just it's a fluff. It's an hour. It's almost 2 hours of fluff.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
A footage and then 40 minutes of a climax of what could have been a full story of a film.
Absolutely agreed.
It's just, I will give some credit. I guess it's kind of impressive that they're able to, have a middle, beginning, and end, story for almost 2 hours out of just footage they had shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing a couple wraparounds. There is a story here. It's just handled piss poorly. It could have been done so much better. Mostly, here's the easiest way to fix this. Make it be another corporation, because by it being Apocalypse Corporation,
yeah,
it hurts it so bad. And that's really what hurts it. I know this film wouldn't be very good, even if that's changed, but at least the main character wouldn't be a fucking idiot.
Completely agreed.
And I know you've been hammering on that.
I do not take kindly to characters being stupid just to be stupid, unless they're supposed to be satire or literally a living cartoon. But we had 2 movies where Melvin was simple, not fucking retarded, not so painfully oblivious to everything. And that's what it is. It's painful.
Yeah. I think I'm at the end of my ropes with this discussion. I don't think I have anything else really to comment on.
This movie, I'd hate for this to be such a short episode, but it's definitely going to be shorter than usual. But, as we both have said, this movie just puts me at a fucking loss. There's so much wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that's all that you can say. There's so much wrong with it. I could go on and on and on about every single tiny little thing that's shit, but the main point of the entire conversation of this was shit. How did Troma go from this, the original Toxic Avenger, this charming movie that knew what it was, that had a lot of great little visual gags and jokes and real characters, Sarah was actually heartwarming and a real person, but with slapstick blind humor.
Yeah, aha, she hit him in the dick.
Yeah, as you know what, that's childish, but it's...
Those were the jokes of the character. Now we just have her being played by a hot girl wearing practically nothing, just wearing thigh highs, garters, panties, a bra maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Flared up, tall hair, just like I said, she's a sexy girl, but the character of Claire is just ridiculous. What is this? Who decided to do this?
She does her makeup very well for a blind girl.
She does. Well, she just trial and error.
Trial and error. No, maybe she has Homer's shotgun makeup gun.
That's a good reference.
A reference in The Simpsons, because I want to talk about this movie. Jesus Christ. What if Jim Varney was the devil?
It would have helped a lot.
Would have helped a lot. No, this movie is beneath Jim Varney.
Because even when we talked about previous super terrible films, there was at least enough to talk about.
Yeah,
there's points of interest. There's points of why they do this, why they do that. There's more even more positives we could say about those films. Even with Hellraiser Revelations, we had enough content to talk about for at least an hour.
An entire episode.
An entire normal length episode for us. This film is just...
This film is so pointless.
We're spending more time now talking about all the nothingness of this film than we did actual quality content of the film.
Yeah.
and it's shit. It's clearly a film that is a product of just extra footage. It's all is it now? It is
this movie feels like just a movie of filler.
This is Curse of Puppet Master.
Yes, this is Curse of Puppet Master.
Except that had the benefit of actually having just being upfront about the footage from the other Puppet Master films they are just showing you. With the tiny wraparound segment. I will give that a pass.
Wait. Are you talking about the montage movie?
Yeah.
No, Curse of Puppet Master was 6.
Oh, that's true. I apologize. What was this? That was number 8?
Yes, that was 8. Because, like, Retro Puppet Master or something was 7.
That's right. I apologize, guys. You guys know what I meant by that. But that film at least knew what it was. It was just purely a montage film, kind of after all these other films, kind of trying to piece everything together and tell what's going on in some little wraparound segment. That film is okay. While I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was shit.
I can give that film at least a pass on that merit. Part 3, Toxic Avenger Part 3, Last Temptation of Toxie, suck my dick.
Suck my dick.
So, I mean, I don't think we have anything else we can talk about for ranting on other needlessly pointless things. So let's just get into star ratings.
Overall thoughts on the film, it's not worth seeing. At all. Like, it's not worth it.
There we go.
Like, it's just fucking... Like, 2 at least has some fun stuff. You know, although, you know, I gave 2 more negatives than positives, at least there's some fun stuff worth checking out. 3... Holy shit. No.
Stop this ride. I want off.
You motherfuckers that are saying Batman v Superman is the worst superhero movie you've ever seen need to buckle the fuck down and actually watch some bad fucking movies. Strap yourselves in for Toxic Avenger 3.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has a 27%.
This has a 0.
It does?
I know 2 does. I don't know if 3 does. I know for a fact that 2 has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Toxic Avenger Part 3. Oh, it actually it doesn't have a tomato. Oh no, the audience score is 27%. Sorry, the Wikipedia page is a bit off on its what it's referencing to.
Okay.
So no critics wanted to review Toxic Avenger Part 3. There you go, guys. Oh no, here we go. Here's a review. I'll read this little line. Better than number 2, but still the same crap as they have so much of it in the movie. It's not better than 2. Fuck you, Stephen Berger Stephenson.
Fuck you.
Oh my god, there's a 4.5-star review on the audience reviews for Toxic Avenger 3.
Oh, what did this person say? This is what the episode has become now.
As I've said in my reviews for the first 2 films, you can't take these films and compare them to a classic, as that's not the point. I don't normally like cheesy films, but found the first 3 to be laugh-out-loud funny. Maybe I have a screw loose, and I just think they're great. Again, I'm not going to give the plot out, because I don't feel like it. I'm not going to say what's, and that's the rest of just, like, the blurb. And that's surrounded by, like, 1.5, 1 star, 2.5. But this person, 4.5 stars. From Cassandra Maples, who's a super reviewer on Rotten Tomatoes.
Perfect.
So I think that's the best way to end this. Like, there is somebody out there that felt like this film deserved 4.5 stars. Scrolling through most of the other Rotten Tomatoes scores, most of them, like, are just other just, you know, bad scores.
Yeah. Deserve it.
These are audience reviews. I know we shit on Rotten Tomatoes, but these are audience reviews.
Yeah.
I will take these with a much more, you know... I'll take these a lot more than I will.
Absolutely.
Critic reviews. So I mentioned before, do you want to get the star ratings for this film?
Yes, I will give this a 0 stars.
Well, like usual, I go off what I give on Letterboxd. Letterboxd won't let me give 0 stars, so I give it half a star. I'll get it. You know, admittedly, it probably deserves half a star, purely just based off of some of the couple jokes. There's some jokes that made me laugh, like the 2 motorcycles. It gets half a star for that.
Nah, there was more jokes in Ernest Goes to Africa that I liked than in this film.
Jesus. Yeah, realistically, yeah, 0 stars. If I'm going off of my usual Letterboxd score rating system, I give half a star.
Yeah, it's
so our aggregate score 0.25 stars. There you go. There's your hit film. Oh, here. Wait. Here's another half. Here's a half-star review on Rotten Tomatoes. Another cash-in sequel only loved by cult fans.
Even then, Jesus Christ.
Suck it, Justin. No, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, suck it.
Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger 4 from 2000, rated R, 1 hour, 49 minutes. The Toxic Avenger must defend his friends from his own evil alternate universe doppelganger, the Noxious Offender. They don't say that in the movie at all.
What, the
Who
noxious offender?
Who wrote this? I mean, they call him Noxy, but they don't go around going, the noxious offender.
They use his name once.
They do?
When they make fun of Richard Dawkins. I'm sorry, Stephen Hawking. He calls him the noxious offender. But you couldn't tell because you were too busy groaning at the stupid fucking joke.
Yeah, not that I can see. I mean, a little bit here. I will give that joke credit because I think it has a funny payoff later.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like, it makes me laugh when it's used later. But as it is, yeah, it's stupid. But, hey, we're not there yet. We got, like, a bunch of other stupid shit to talk about.
Oh, we got a big list.
So we covered the first film. We covered part 2. We covered The Last Temptation of Toxie.
Oh, God.
And then we jump for 10 years, 11 years, because 89 is 11 years to Citizen Toxie. This is, per Stan Lee's narration, the true sequel to the Toxic Avenger.
Yes, it seems to ignore the events from 2 and 3.
Because those aren't real sequels.
Claire has been turned... is Sarah again. Sarah from the first film is back. She acts more like Sarah from the first film. Although stupider, but still the same character.
I don't think she acts like her at all. She acts worse.
Maybe worse, but I mean, she's not Claire, is what I'm saying.
Claire. I'll take Claire from 2 and 3 over Sarah in this film.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Sarah/Claire in this film.
Well, I was gonna ask, is the world Noxie from the world where part 2 and 3 take place? Because that's Claire.
I know, I thought
maybe after she got her sight back, she lost her hearing and Toxie went bad because his Chromatons got turned off in part 2.
Well, we have to remember...
And he was already evil in 3.
This is the true sequel. In 2 and 3, we never meet Claire. So this is the true sequel. So that Claire was never happened.
Nah, she did in Earth 2.
And Junko.
Did you notice that Melvin's last name was given back to him in this film because Junko was added in the second movie?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm just at a loss of trying to figure out.
The Toxic Avenger continuity is more of a jumble than Highlander.
I'm more offended at them saying 2 and 3 are shit, but they have the gall to say this is the true sequel.
How fucking dare you?
How dare you? Spoiler alert, folks. This movie can eat my ass.
My overall thoughts in this film is that I do think it is slightly better than 3, but 2 is definitely the best Toxic Avenger sequel by far.
Yeah, it's slightly better in that I think it has a better story on paper throughout the entire film.
It has a legitimate plot. That is one of my pros, is that it has an actual plot.
Yeah, and 3 suffered from having a very weak plot throughout the film and not really feeling had any relevancy.
Yeah.
But this film at least has a plot. That's something.
They stuck to it. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah. The film looks like it was filmed in 1985.
Yes, it does.
I say it's
the
kind of
first thing I said to Bill when I was watching it.
Yeah, I kind of say this is a positive because I guess if this is supposed to be the sequel to the Toxic Avenger, it would be filmed in the 80s. But at the same time, this is Troma, so I don't think they have that much creativity to think like that. So I think the film just looks like shit because it is shit because it was made by a shit company with no money. And they're probably using the same film equipment they used in 1984. Because they have nothing better.
Yep.
Yeah, even doesn't matter that it's been 11 years since the last 2 films. This is what we got. Got this.
Got this.
But I think I'm jumping the format here. Steve, what did you think of the Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie?
I mean, as I said, I think it's better than 3, but still worse than 2, and obviously 1. We'll get into the specific positives and negatives, of which I have many. Of both, honestly. I do have a lot of positives, but my positives are more like, this one joke really worked for me.
That's my notes. My notes are like a list of, hey, this joke is funny. And then I'd sit there and stew in suffering for like 20 minutes before another joke happened. In which case, I'd either go, ha-ha, or I'd go, heh.
Yeah, pretty much.
The ha-has were few and far between.
But overall, I think it's definitely a weak film. It is a very clear case of what is wrong with modern Troma.
I was embarrassed. Rachel, when I watched 2 and 3, did not watch with me. she watched 4 with me, and I was just embarrassed.
Like, oh god, I'm sorry that I'm in the room
movie,
with this.
I felt I was just embarrassed. I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching this. Like,
Yep.
I'm sorry. I feel embarrassed that I am sitting here watching this film. Because I'm just like, the 2 and 3 are not nearly this bad.
No.
I said though, when we complain all the time about modern trauma, this is what we're complaining about.
This movie. So if you like this movie, you think we're
pinnacle of modern trauma, right here.
Yes.
And you can wonder why I don't like trauma.
Absolutely.
Those are my overalls. Let's get into specifics.
When I was a child and I saw this movie, I liked it. Completely admit to that, but as an adult, no thank you.
I apparently did not, because I told Steve after we recorded last time, going into watching Toxic 4, I had never seen it. At least I thought I'd never seen it, because I started watching it, and it all came flooding back to me, and I realized, I have seen this. I just completely blocked it from my memory. And after watching it, I remember why.
Yep.
Because growing up, my big memories were, I loved the first one, 2 is pretty good, 3 not so much, and they're like, 4. What about 4? Don't remember. Don't know. I don't think I ever saw it.
I must have never seen it.
I must have never seen it. And it's like, oh, nope, I've seen it already. I've most certainly seen it. God have mercy on my soul.
Alright, so let's get into specifics.
Positives!
Let's stick to the positives, and again, I want to try to give credit, so I'm going to go through all of my positives, but keep in mind, again, my positives are somewhat minor. Every single one is pretty minor. There's only a few, major points.
Does not fix the whole.
No. So, one positive is that, although I, have some issues with the whole mentally handicapped aspect of this film, which we will get into, I do think that the actors portraying Tito and Sweetie Honey, given what they were forced to work with, did a pretty solid job.
It's true.
She is adorable, albeit offensive. And he is funny at times, albeit offensive.
Yeah, I mean, because they're really just doing impressions of mentally handicapped people.
Yes.
Doing the, I don't need to listen to you. Like, putting the hand up and everything, and it's, someone, they got paid to do this.
Oh, well, this is trauma here. What are you talking about? Paid?
Sweetie didn't come off so much like she didn't come off so stereotypically offensive. She just came off sounding kind of slow. I don't know. She didn't bother me nearly as much. Came off more like she had the, I don't know.
She came off like she was supposed to be 10 or
I'm
something,
a 4-year-old girl in the body of an adult woman.
Yes.
I'm just gonna act cute. And the other, what was the other kid's name? Tito. Tito just did full on
mega retard
impression, and that was just too much. In having I'm pause myself there because it's very easy to jump off a cliff of negatives.
Yeah, we're sticking to the positives.
Stay positive.
Next for me is the Sklar Brothers.
The Sklar Brothers. Oh, they are high up on my list of major positives for this film. Too bad they only show up every now and then.
They have nothing to do with the actual film.
No.
You could cut them out of the movie completely, and you would not know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I love the Sklar Brothers. They're a couple of great comedians. I love their stand-up, and seeing them in this film made me happy.
It made me laugh too. They play the newscasters perfectly.
And they do.
They were so good. They're doing, because they do that. They do newscasts bits in their stand up.
Yes.
So clearly they have obviously they
timing.
They do well with each other, and they have good cadences, and they keep talking about their reporter Josh guy just doing
our man on the street, Josh. Whatever.
He's talking about this hot new dance craze.
So good.
Or all this clothing for superheroes, all this ridiculous shit. Those segments are awesome. So funny.
Really funny. Every single one wins for me.
I know. I really enjoyed those for sure. Big plus.
Positive. Cigar Face is back, and he's the new Nazi cop. Call back to the first.
Like this time, not even being
not subtle. No, yeah, that's a negative, but we can mention it. It's straight up Hitler mustache.
I'll say it's a positive. I mean, if we're.
It's just getting back to Trauma no longer being subtle in their humor.
True, but at the same time, like, here's this cop who's plainly evil. The actor playing him, who's played Cigar Face and all this stuff, I think he's awesome as
he's so good.
And part of it also harkens back to like kind of the ludicrous comic book nature of the first film, to which if like this character was just planted right into that instead of Cigar Face, it'd feel at home and perfectly fine. I don't feel like it's too over the top.
You're right.
I'd say I prefer the subtlety of the Nazi cop in the first film,
who accidentally would zig Heil.
Yeah, that was also like a really throwaway character that didn't do a ton in that. But for what we have here, like if we were just looking at just him and not everything that comes later, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny.
First see him, it's like the actor. He's wearing the Hitler mustache. He's talking about how we need to kill all these retards.
Kill all the retards.
And I'm like, what? I don't know. It made me laugh. Like that. Like I think the actor is what really makes it work for me.
Absolutely, he is too good for Trauma.
Dan Snow.
Yes, he's too good for Trauma. Dan Snow.
Yeah, Sergeant Kaczynski.
Sergeant Theodore Kaczynski. Traumaville ATF.
That's right.
Other positives. Lemmy and Ron Jeremy cameo in this film. I don't know why Lemmy agreed to be in this.
Ron Jeremy is more of a, like, just not more than a cameo in this
He's
film.
more than a cameo, but he is only in like 3 scenes.
I do appreciate that your positives are going right down my list of positives.
Good. If I miss something, come in.
Lemmy is like the best part of this film in many ways, because I feel like everything he's saying is how I feel watching this film.
Yes.
At one point when Ron Jeremy, who's the mayor of Traumaville, is introducing the heroes that are going to go defeat Noxie, Lemmy's like, oh man, what's
putting his face in his hands.
Yeah, he's like, this can't get any worse. He's like face palms. And I'm like, I was feeling the exact same way.
That's me. Lemmy is the audience.
Lemmy is the audience proxy, but I'm sure Lloyd had no idea that's what he was actually doing. And Ron Jeremy, this is one of the few times he gets just to act and not do porn, which is something he really wants to do in life, is just act, not necessarily do porn anymore.
Yeah, and he was fine in this film. He was funny.
No, I love Ron Jeremy when he's just acting. He's so funny.
I even liked the mayor's little sidekick, even though his only scene is when he's arguing a deal as Ron keeps trying to pray. Yeah.
Everything's like, oh yeah, we gotta stop him, but make sure you get the reelection.
No, it's not 500. It's not 500. I'm going to give you 154, 150. I'll call you later. Good. That was a good bit. Worked for me.
Yeah, I did laugh at that.
Toxie, I think, looks great in this film.
You
don't agree?
I don't like that mask.
Okay.
I think the mouth parts and the eye that's the actual eye, not the costume eye. I think those look good and move pretty well. I just think the overall look of the mask just looks bad.
Okay, that's fair.
It's too dark brown, but too much like a black wash. It almost looks like it's just a giant ball of shit on his head.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? It's just it doesn't do it for me.
That's fine. I think it looks good, but I totally see where you're coming from.
This is too dark in color, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm racist. I'm racist against monsters from New Jersey.
I agree that it could be a bit brighter.
Yeah, I think it's just too dark from the first 3 films.
Toxie in a wig is stupid, but it made me chuckle.
Oh yeah, the really hot bikini news or whatever it is.
The really real bikini news TV crew.
That's right. I didn't write down that specific name, but yeah, she's interviewing and it just turns into the Toxic Avenger. I did like that reveal when he meant to stop the diaper mafia, but we'll get to them.
Yeah, we'll get to... Oh, Jesus Christ. The guts respilling during the killing of the diaper mafia. Hilarious bit.
The bomb is tied to my heart rate. He ripped all his guts out. I was like, trying to put it back in. It's all back in. Then all of a sudden, that just like blurs back out.
Explodes back out.
I thought that was very funny.
I think my favorite bit of the movie, though, is the bomb countdown.
Oh,
that is fucking amazing.
5 seconds. He has enough time to go home, fuck Claire, do all these other things.
Anti-drug talk.
5 seconds.
That still got me, like, watching it again. I remember that being one of my favorite bits when I first watched it as a kid, but even as a adult, I was just like, no, yeah, this is what good trauma should be, this joke.
Like, ludicrous comic booky humor.
Yeah.
Which that 5-second bit was definitely that. And even when it said the bomb is now exploding, it still had time for Lardass to eat the entire thing.
Yeah. Let's see. One other thing that's just one joke that made me chuckle was, do you feel what time it is? Because she's blind.
Yeah.
That's all. And also the absurdity of the urine and apple juice right next to each other and also both labeled by someone who can't read.
Yeah, that part's fine, but the joke itself is I've seen so often.
Absolutely.
Like urine apple juice switch up joke happened, so that was kind of groan worthy. I mean,
yes.
If you think about the setup for it, like a blind woman labeling and doing, yeah, that's fine. That's kind of like haha on like writing standpoint, but just the gag is like
the gag has been done and done and done and done.
It's tired. It's so tired it went to bed.
You can give me a jar of piss and call it Granny Sweet Tea, and I'm not going to like this movie.
Haha, piss. He's piss jar, piss.
Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD looks amazing.
Oh my god, I think all the budget for this film went to the fucking makeup and stuff for Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Jesus Christ, his costume looks great, his makeup looks great, and the actor portraying Kabuki Man is doing everything in his power to save this piece of shit film.
That is my number one biggest plus positive in this film is Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. I told Steve throughout the film, every time Sergeant Kabuki Man showed up, the film would instantly become better and feel more like a classic trauma film for me. Every time he went away, it's almost like he went out a door, and then Toxic Avenger came in the door, and then like shit started raining down from the sky.
Yep.
Because Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Let's all the positives of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. He shows up. He's drunk. I mean, there you go. Even him as Evil Kabuki Man.
Evil Kabuki Man is my favorite part of the film.
Oh, he's so good. And he doesn't die or anything. They're slowly getting away from me. They're slowly getting away. Yeah, fuck it. Oh, fuck it.
That's another one of my big positives is that joke.
I know. Even when he first shows up, it's like this. It's Kabuki Man with the wig and like a suit and everything, driving this shitty fucking
looks
car.
Awesome. Great look.
I know.
And
it's gold, but he has
gold trimmings.
Gold trimmings
and long ponytail. It's a good style. Like, it's a surprisingly good design choice for like an Earth 2 Kabuki Man.
Oh, I totally agree. I loved Evil Kabuki Man. I love Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD.
I need a movie where just both of them are in the movie, and it doesn't take place in Tromaville.
Yeah, get out of Tromaville. Shit, get back to NYPD.
Yes.
Sergeant Kabuki Man.
This isn't my jurisdiction. I'm a New York City police officer.
Yeah, it's like, Sergeant Kabuki Man, help us. So this isn't my jurisdiction. He's like talking to this reporter, like, hey, why don't you come in here? Like, no.
That part was a little weird to me, that he's suddenly a rapist.
Okay. I thought that was just, I didn't think he actually raped that reporter. I thought it was like, maybe this guy pulled her in. I didn't think he raped her. And then with the whole Claire thing.
No, that was an accident.
That was an accident.
He literally passed out.
He was trying to save her, and he just fell asleep on top of her. That's not rape.
Yeah, that's
just a whoops.
And I'm not blaming him for Claire. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm not blaming him for Sarah. The reporter just came off as weird.
The reporter just came off like, I don't know.
Literally screaming for her life.
Yeah, well, man, she can't handle Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. He's got his laser-guided chopsticks and his
flaming paracels.
16-bit sushi bite.
Yep.
16. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I love Paul Kierms, or however you say his last name, as Sergeant Kabuki Man, and it is a crime that the last feature film he was in is Citizen Toxie.
Yeah.
He made a bunch of appearances on Troma's Edge TV as Sergeant Kabuki Man, which I'm glad he kept being Sergeant Kabuki Man, but Jesus Christ. Lloyd, how did you not make a Sergeant Kabuki Man 2 with this guy?
No kidding. I mean,
this guy really brought it. He clearly cares about the character. He cared about doing a good job. I remember watching the behind-the-scenes stuff and, like, the commentary, and, like, he's a legit martial artist, and, like, one of the big reasons why all the action scenes in this movie aren't shit is because of this guy. He choreographed almost everything, and he especially took a very personal touch, obviously, to the evil Kabuki Man versus Toxie fight. And that fight's legitimately solid. Which is another positive on my list, is that fight between Toxie and Earth 2 Kabuki Man is really cool. It's not perfect, but it's really solid, it's exciting, it's paced well, it's a good fight. After 3 movies of all the action being literal shit, getting this is just like, oh, yay. This actually feels like a superhero movie.
Totally agree. There's fighting around Mad Cow's butcher shop. I mean, Evil Kabuki Man clearly, like, the fight between them is, they have some choreography, they're actually doing some actual work, some actual, planned out stunt work, not just, okay, Toxie's gonna come in, we're gonna do our special effect of some guy's head getting shoved out his asshole or something like that. It's like, those are never actually real fights, they're just setups to a special effect shot.
Yeah, but this is a fight.
This is actual, like, 2 actors, like, who have choreographed and are going through, like, a fight.
Yeah, I thank that scene to the actors, because I can guarantee you it wasn't Lloyd.
Probably.
Especially because Lloyd talked about it in the commentary how he really checked out because he didn't know much about martial arts fight choreography, and he lets other people edit it and stuff.
I often question if Noid even... Noid.
The Noid!
The Noid, he's gonna take my pizza. I often question if Lloyd even knows anything about filmmaking.
Oh, poor Lloyd. No, not really.
Not really. I mean, whatever. He's a hack.
Yeah.
I not often will drop that so non-discriminately, but Lloyd is a fucking hack.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The heroes that are assigned to take on Noxie. We got the Vibrator, the Masturbator.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mad Cowboy.
Okay.
And then, of course, that's when we get the proper introduction to Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD.
Whoa. Did you just skip the most important superhero in the Trauma universe?
I might have. I'm going from memory here.
You didn't. You skipped Dolphin Man.
Oh, shit. Even Dolphin Man?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, I forgot about Dolphin Man. Yeah, what did Mayor Goldberg. That's funny. Jeremy playing. And Goldberg, clearly a Jewish name, praying. The continuing joke of all these Jewish people praying to God and doing all this Christian stuff.
Yeah, Christian stuff. Yeah,
it's so funny. But no, his line about most of the stuff is taking place on land, so he's kind of useless. But
that's a good joke.
But they have these heroes taking Noxie. They go to fight Noxie. They all instantly die.
Another big positive. It's just, it cuts to Kabuki Man screaming
and running off. And then Noxie has to continually keep killing Mad Cowboy.
That was a good joke too. There's good jokes in this piece of shit movie.
No, seriously. Like, we're, super positive right now because these are the positives, and we, grasping onto them with a death grip. Because throughout the film, oh, here's a positive, here's something funny. Please stay. Please don't go. No! And then they abandon us to the dark pits of hell.
But yeah, after they all die, and Toxie's back in Earth 1, and we're skipping a bit. I have a few more positives that take place earlier in the film.
No, sure.
But
we're on the island of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD.
Yes, we are. Toxie is back and says, okay, well, let's go. We need to raid the hospital, so let's round up all the other heroes of Traumaville. That's what...
They're all dead, Toxie.
All of them?
Yeah.
Even Dolphin Man?
Even Dolphin Man.
I started laughing, even just saying it. It's such a great fucking joke.
I know, just the even Dolphin Man.
It's so simple, and it's because it's Dolphin Man. The one who's useless, that he's surprised about.
Oh, poor Dolphin Man.
There's a lot of layers to that joke, which is missing from all the humor that we hate in this film, but that, 5 stars, that joke. 5 stars.
For sure.
One positive is that the chairman of Apocalypse Inc. is a cop in Earth 2.
Yeah, get some actors back.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of actors back. The chairman's second in command, Malfair, is the abortion assistant.
Abortions are us.
Jesus Christ. The population sign is a fantastic joke.
15,000. It starts going down and Noxie starts killing everybody.
They just keep on counting down. It's not the only time I've seen that joke, but it's one of the earlier times I've seen that joke.
It's used so sparingly, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I've seen that joke maybe 5 times in my life, and every time it's funny.
Okay, so back on my list of positives, let's see, we got to, of course, the heroes up. Pablo, the decapitated black man's head, is one of my favorite characters in the film.
It's a pretty good character.
Because for some reason, there's this head that's still alive. His name is Pablo. And, yep. Or is it Pompey?
Pompey.
That was Pablo.
Pompey.
Okay, sorry. They never were like very clear on pronouncing it, so I thought, okay, it's
well,
Pablo.
it's mostly being said by a guy who's playing mega retard, so...
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Pompey!
I like Pompey. He's like, I'm a decapitated black head. What do you want?
I don't give a fuck!
I don't give a fuck! Give me a new body.
Give me a new body.
It's like hot dog parts.
That's weird. That part was weird to me, because it seems like Noxie is in charge of everything, and everyone listens to Noxie. So Noxie giving you someone and telling you to fix them, it seems like it'd be a big fuck up to ignore Noxie's direct order and send that guy to hot dog parts.
I thought so as well.
Like, that made no sense.
That entire scene was purely there just to make some transphobic jokes.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know. Then again, it's been a while. I need to revisit Terra Firma, so maybe
it's been a long time since I've seen Terra Firma. I remember liking it, but who knows?
I know. There's some transphobic stuff in that, but I remember more of it being like.
Well, there could be jokes about trans people that aren't necessarily transphobic bullshit.
That's true, but this entire segment of the
absolutely
Plastique Clinique or whatever it fucking was,
yeah.
Plastic Palace. That was clearly all just supposed to be transphobic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was shitty. But we're on positives.
Positives, yes. Who was shit? Yeah. Okay, that's right. Sarah's gynecologist is played by Corey Feldman.
Yep, don't know why, but great.
Yeah, that's the thing. I had to double check because I forgot to look. I wrote down Corey Feldman.
I also put Corey Feldman with a question mark.
I had to double check here before I said it because I was dumb to be told I was wrong. Like, oh yeah, Corey Feldman just playing Kinky Finkelstein.
Yep.
With a mustache and a German accent. I'm like, oh, there's Corey Feldman.
Hey, Corey Feldman, do you want to be in a trauma movie? Not really. You'll be next to a completely naked woman the whole time. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure Corey Feldman seems like the kind of guy that just do it for fun.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, he was in. Now he's worked for Charles Band and Lloyd Kaufman. Which one was worse? Every time Noxie is swearing under his breath while in Tromaville is hilarious to me. Because it's very Joe Pesci from Home Alone swearing.
Yeah.
And also Noxie not at all watching the lesbian sex, to me, is hilarious.
Got no interest in that.
No, fuck that. Looking at this picture of an explosion. Just ridiculous.
Okay,
let's see. I only have like 3 more positives and that's it. So I'm gonna let you go, and when you're out, I will continue.
Okay, they might sync up here. So, when they're devising a way to send Toxie back to regular Tromaville, they find the answer in this seldom used physics book, The Wizard of Oz. I like the whole means of sending him back to the right dimension is just to wear the ruby slippers and click his heels together 3 times.
See, I had Toxie's reaction in that scene.
He's like, what? Okay.
Just face palm and, okay, whatever, let's just fucking do it.
Let's fuck it, let's do it. But it's leading up to that. What I liked about going back to that making fun of Stephen Hawking bit was that they're in the montage of figuring it out, and they keep cutting back to his body,
his dead body,
crushed under a car. They just keep cutting back to it and like zooming in more on it,
yes.
As if he's part of this whole thing.
Yes.
That's why that whole joke had its payoff there for me.
Yeah, that was
like, I thought it was pretty stupid, but that made up for it. And then Toxie in his traveling, trying to get back to the right dimension, ends up in heaven. Most of this is stupid, except God tells Toxie, when you go back, tell the Pope he's an asshole. He doesn't speak for me.
He doesn't know me.
That's stupid. He doesn't know me. God is just a little person who's angry. I thought that was good.
And continuously grabbing the tits of all the actresses around him, even though it's not part of the movie. That was in the behind the scenes.
Oh, who was doing this? I'm sorry.
Oh, God! Midget God kept on grabbing tits, even though he wasn't supposed to.
Oh, that's nice of him.
And they put one into the film, because, you had that footage, why not? But actresses kept on pulling his hand away and telling him to stop. And Lloyd kept on telling him to stop.
Only on a film can you get away with that stuff. If you were like an office job, you'd be fired or arrested for sexual harassment.
Yep.
But on a film, it's okay.
Hey, I should know.
God, that's always weird. Weird how that can get by in one place and not the other. I don't think that was a positive. I wrote down the split video that they were doing at the hospital, where it'd be like a close up on Toxie's face where he's killing people, like so it's kind of split. I don't know why they're doing that. I thought it looked kind of cool.
I honestly liked it a lot. It's basically multi-shot editing. It's the same scene, but from two different cameras shown at the same time. I don't know why they did it, but I liked it. I thought it worked.
Yeah, it was just really weird. I mean, weird as in they just hadn't done it until this point.
Yeah.
And they started doing it, and I was like, okay. It worked for me enough. I thought it was kind of cool for the most part.
Yeah, agreed. I thought it was cool. And that hospital fight was pretty solid all around. Probably the best, group fight Toxie's ever had in his career.
Although, I thought the joke was kind of tired of stab a guy in the face. Oh no, I have AIDS!
I think the joke is dumb, but I did like the guy's delivery.
I liked it. Okay, I agree. I like the delivery. I didn't like the joke. And I like how he just immediately died.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately.
Also, this is not a real positive, but I appreciate that they clearly had this horrible dummy that looked like shit, so they tossed a wig on the dummy to cover it up, and then they clearly had to put the same shitty wig on the actor. Also, I didn't catch that. Also, I liked the double-sided mop joke. It was dumb, but it made me laugh.
Oh yeah, because it's coming out right around 10 minutes.
Yep.
So. Get a double-sided mop, broom broom with the lightsaber noises, everything.
Yeah, made me laugh. Not major, but I appreciated it.
Little chuckles. The original actor for Melvin came back.
OG Melvin is my positive note that I wrote.
And then this is a slight positive, slight negative. Good way to wrap up my stuff. Is how Toxie throws him out of a window, and we go right to the same footage from the first Toxic Avenger of Melvin flying out of the window at the health clinic or health spa, into the vat of toxic waste on fire, running off. All the same footage.
Yep. A lot of reuse footage in this film. The reason why they clearly did that was because there was supposed to be a full-body fire effect earlier in the film. After the skull explodes, the janitor was supposed to come out, sweep a little bit while his entire body's on fire, and then slide down the railing and then land completely on fire. It was supposed to be an effect as great as the Melvin one from the first film. And in the behind-the-scenes feature, which is like 90 minutes long, it's actually interesting, because I respect the fact that they showed a lot of the negatives of Troma filmmaking, instead of just sucking Lloyd's dick. The two of the crew members say, I bet you $5 is going to be lame. I'll take that bet. And then they're interviewing the stunt guy who's going to do the flame thing, and he's got all these pyrotechnic certifications, and he's super legit. And when he sets himself on fire, his a little bit of space between his shoulder blades is kind of on fire. And then he does the whole stunt, and then the documentary cuts to the one crew member walking up to the other and handing him $5 because it was lame.
I think the only I remember watching one special feature thing where I remember the thing I remember most was there's a tiny stunt where Toxie jumps out of a window, and they're talking to the stunt guy who they hired for the day just to do this one 2-foot jump out of a little thing onto a pad.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard at that. What is the point of this? He's talking about how serious it is and how important it is to have a stunt actor for these type of things. You don't want to hurt the main actor. It's you're moving a foot or 2 feet. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck you. Fuck this movie. Okay, that's my positives. Steve, your positives.
No, that was it. OG Melvin was my last positive.
Oh, I thought you had a couple. Did I catch all of them?
Yeah. Well, the multi-shot editing, the double-sided mop, and OG Melvin were my last three positives.
Cool. We're on the same page. That is the one page I have notes here. I guess ending the film. Like I said before, Stan Lee did the narration for this film. For the opening and closing. And the rest of it was the new Toxie voice, which I didn't sometimes care for. It was kind of weird. It
was too bad because the guy who plays Toxie, David Matty, he plays the body of Toxie and Noxie, and he does the voice of the Noxious Offender. That is his voice. And he did the voice on set as Toxie. But he kept on thinking Lloyd wanted, and Lloyd never corrected him, because that's what a good director does. He kept on thinking Lloyd wanted Toxie to have the same voice that Toxie had in, like, 2 and 3, like, the more higher-pitched, friendlier voice. But Lloyd really wanted the deep, menacing Toxie voice from the first film back, and never corrected Dave Matty on set. So then he just hired someone to dub Dave Matty's voice and never told Dave Matty until, like, after the film was complete.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah, Dave was really pissed about it.
Because that's my biggest beef. I would have preferred, I liked the voice we had in 2 and 3. I would have really liked to keep up with that.
Yeah, there's a few of the making ofs you can hear his original voice, and I think it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it would. I mean, I like what I had before. I don't know why they had to change it.
So yeah.
That's upsetting.
Yep.
Good.
Especially would have been a much better foil to Noxie's voice. If he was like the bright, cheery, golden age, 50s, super friendly Toxie like he was in 2 and 3.
Oh, totally.
Versus the guy that talks like this. It'd be even more effective than the foil to that being, anyway.
Yeah. So negative.
Trauma!
Negatives.
Good timing. So my first negative is retard jokes.
Yeah, making fun of the not just quote unquote, the retard jokes. It was mostly just making fun of the disabled period.
Yeah, like, I don't offend. I really don't, but holy shit, this was too much, making me uncomfortable levels of too much.
It was tasteless.
Tasteless, yeah.
It was just tasteless. Got this diaper mafia coming in, attacking this school for the special on Mexican, Appreciation Day or something.
Bring a Mexican to lunch day.
Bring a Mexican to lunch day. And there's these just women, these characters these people all playing mentally handicapped kids. Women are just shoving their tits all over them. Guys are just sexually assaulting people. This guy keeps making help your ass, and
Jesus Christ.
They're taking them hostage. They want their demands. They want the bikini news. We talked about that.
It's terrible.
From this,
my next
12 minutes.
My next major negative, and I just want to say it before you do, because my next major negative is just in all capital letters. Oh boy, shit jokes.
That was what I was just about to say. 12 minutes and ... shit joke. And by shit joke, I mean a ginormous shit joke. This guy sees the Toxic Avenger and shits himself. They are spraying shit everywhere. He's just exploding shit everywhere. And it's just...
Then he shoves it in, then Toxie shoves it in his face, and he spits out a turd out of his mouth.
He apparently kills him with his own diaper.
Yeah.
That's what happens, apparently. Because we find out later from the alternate universe version of the Diaper Gang.
Well, he crushes his head under the diaper.
That's true. And then another guy gets, turned upside down.
His head shoved off his ass.
Which is, of course, his head is covered in shit.
I mean, I understand the callback to the phrase. I get it, but it's just yet another shit joke.
That's all it is. It's just a shit joke. This film has... We railed on 2 and 3 for some of their shit jokes, mostly 3. This film, oh my lord. It's just outrageous. I mean, fucking appalling. Appalling in the fact that they are useless and just tasteless, and they're just purely trying to offend somebody's sensibilities.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you really aren't achieving anything. You're just being childish.
Pretty much.
Just make it. Yeah, that's all it is. This is fart, fuck noise. Shit. Ah!
Shit. Now the more shit jokes.
And then Toxie...
Lardass, why is that a thing?
Lardass is his sidekick.
Hey, fart jokes. Yay, so fucking many fart jokes now. That's my next negative.
Yeah, he eats the bomb, and then they light a cigarette, and then it blows up.
I mean, if that was the only fart joke in the movie, I'd be fine with it, It'd
be a pretty big one, but it'd work.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a big one, but if that was by itself, it'd be like, oh, it's toilet humor, but then the joke is that he actually succeeded, and they die because they light a cigarette after sex.
Yeah, after some woman, sexually assaults and fucks a, mentally handicapped kid.
I mean, he seemed into it.
Shit! I forgot one of my positives. I didn't write it down. When the Diaper Mafia leader grabs, the M60 and starts shooting at Toxie, and Toxie's
hiding behind...
And is running behind all the kids in the classroom, and they're getting blown away.
Yeah, that's...
And to the point where when Toxie has to save everybody when the bomb's gonna blow up,
you're dead.
He only has 2 kids
you're
left
dead.
to save.
He's checking they're all fucking dead.
I know. Okay,
that was a good joke.
I laughed really hard at that.
That was a good joke. Yeah.
That's a good joke. I just how he's just blundering.
He's bad at being a hero. It's a good joke.
But during the 5 seconds, we of course get a
vomit sex.
Terrible sex scene.
Why is he vomiting?
Oh yeah, that's right. The blue gook. He got some gack in his mouth. Oh god, that sex scene. I will actually, and by comparison, the sex scenes between Claire and Toxie in 2 and 3 were way more erotic.
Way more.
Because I'll be honest, I don't have it up. The actress that played Claire in the 2 and 3 is way more attractive than Heidi Sturgeon, who plays Sarah.
Agreed.
Claire
Yeah.
In this film.
Agreed completely.
Her acting is just atrocious. I'll take the weird, sluttiness of Claire in 2 and 3 over this.
Yeah, because I am thankful that Sarah is back, and I prefer the character of Sarah over the character of Claire, but in terms of acting capability, yeah, Claire was way better than Sarah, also Claire, in Toxic 4.
Claire in 2 and 3 could play the accordion, she could sing, even as you said, even though she's kind of slutty looking, she's hot. I mean, she's a good looking girl. This Heidi chick, she's not a good actress. She's not easy on the eyes either.
Nope.
Even when they have a pretty good looking girl mounting her.
Oh, she was the hottest woman in the movie.
That's true.
That punk hair, the good tits, good body. Yeah, top quality. Also, funny side note, also coming from the commentary behind the scenes featurette, the reason why Heidi is not naked in that scene is that even though she was supposed to be naked and even did a rehearsal of that scene completely naked, her boyfriend was there that day and then suddenly did not feel comfortable being topless during that scene.
Of course.
Even though she was topless in 2 other scenes.
Of course.
Yep.
That's how it always goes.
Go figure.
Man, it's great.
It's great.
So terrible sex scenes. Those happen throughout. Oh yeah, and there's also some gay jokes.
Oh, of course there's some gay jokes.
Because apparently Noxie has a male fuck slave or something.
I don't mind the idea that Noxie has a male and female fuck slave.
No, I was saying the idea is fine, but what they do with the film is just I don't know. It's not funny. It's again more tasteless crap.
Yeah, it's flamboyant, tasteless humor. If he was just a male fuck slave.
But no, he's total
him jumping on Toxie is a fine joke of Toxie being get off me, madam. That's a good joke by itself.
That's fine, yeah, but when it's just when it's clear, it's total quote unquote fairy fag, that type of oh look at this, it's I imagine Lloyd writing haha faggot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that type of jokes, that type of humor.
He's running with his hands in the air, and then he pulls his underwear down and farts.
Yeah, he's yeah. It's just constant farts. We're gay. We do sex in the butt. Ugh. He's pulling out his pants. Fuck me, Toxie. I'm sorry, Noxie. Fuck me, Noxie. Give it to me rough. Ugh. It's come. Lloyd, is this how you really think gay people are?
Yes, this is how.
It was a bit kind of much to have the flamboyant gay people in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of fit the kind of silly, ludicrous sensibilities of the first film.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing this is too much.
Absolutely.
This is just in bad taste at that point. And I keep saying is this bad taste for the purpose of being bad taste? We're just gonna do everything we can to offend you. It's then you don't succeed at doing anything when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with offensive humor, but when that's literally what your main fucking sell.
More people are offended at Serbian films implying that there's a man that has sex with a newborn. You don't see anything. You just hear a guy go. You hear it. You hear the sound effects of it, and you see a man reacting to it. Get out of the room and walk away in disgust, and then a man get up and proclaim newborn porn, and people think that film is disgusting and are truly offended by it, and they didn't do anything. This film is doing everything it possibly can, and it just comes off as puerile trash.
Mm.
Just fuck this. Oh, that's my biggest takeaway from this film.
Yeah, trash.
And then there's an abortion clinic joke. I did kind of laugh at the the protesters outside. Some of the jokes, there's some pretty good jokes on their banners and posters.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
Claire is just trying to find her way around, and someone just immediately thinks she's going to an abortion clinic, and just on purpose, and starts blasting her in the face with red paint.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of.
There's a few, yeah, but for the most part, it's terrible. A couple negatives rolling back because that's later in the film.
I know, I was kind of on a roll.
Old lady death shits piss.
Oh my god, there's an old lady that I laughed that evil Kabuki man turned around and went to kill her.
Great!
Crushed her head.
Yeah.
That looked pretty good, but then the body's just like compulsing, blasting shit out of it. Like,
shit and piss.
this?
Like, yeah, what the fuck is this? Why? And it keeps cutting to it. Like, it stays on it for a really long time.
Yeah, that's what was really the worst. I could kind of understand going back to the crushed head and like, oh man, look at this, but it's like, just blasting out of this fucking like body, and then it cuts back to them driving, cuts back to that, cuts back to that. It's like, oh my god, stop.
Oh,
Please.
Semi-positive, Kabuki Man screaming and then taking a deep breath to continue screaming during the slow-motion car flip. Masturbator ejaculations, and also the vibrator, what the fuck, why?
The ejaculations are a bit much. I did laugh kind of when he was dead and he was like ejaculating blood.
Yeah, that was okay.
I thought the vibrator was just... I don't know, it was kind of stupid.
It was just stupid, yeah. It wasn't like gross.
It could have been handled better, but like at that point in the film, it's just more. It's just more. If it was like honestly, if it was that joke, but like everything else had been not like all the other like stupid crass crap hadn't happened, I'd probably laugh like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
But like everything else, it that on top of it is just like you're trying too hard at this point.
Exactly.
But then again, Lemmy's there to go, oh god, what's next?
Yeah. Another negative is hey, should we learn actual sign language? Fuck it!
Oh, jeez. And then they have, like, they establish that there's, like, a topless interpreter to tell us what she's saying, signing. But then she doesn't sign, she starts speaking, but they always keep bringing back the topless interpreter.
Yeah.
Even though we're not using her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's, like, oh my god. That's right. They're also making fun of deaf people.
Yep. And also, that's another one for me, well, my next one is Claire Chester sex scene. Why? And then my next negative is apparently deaf equals retarded. Apparently.
Yeah. It's just. Oh my god.
Yep.
It's just a mountain of shit. I don't even know what to do anymore. Then we get to see. So Claire apparently is pregnant with 2 babies because we're led to believe it's Noxie and Toxie. And then we get, like, clips... When Noxie and Toxie are fighting each other, we get clips inside the womb of the 2 fetuses fighting each other.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb. It wasn't, like, bad or anything, but it was just like, okay.
It was just dumb. And I didn't think... It just looked like... It just looked bad.
Yeah, it looked bad.
It just didn't look very good, and that's what kind of hurt the most.
Referencing back to the world travel of him getting back to Earth 1. Gay porn, of course. More fucking smut just for smut. Heaven looks like shit.
That segment of, like, they make the joke, you might go back to a 70s porn set, or Heaven, and then the first thing goes to is a 70s porn set. And it's set up to have, like, stupid symbolisms and all this other stuff going on
U.S. government fucking third world countries.
Yeah, that hit that middle ground where I think, yeah, there was obviously another stupid gay joke, which there had been so many that really hurt that joke that's in this scene.
That's what I'm saying. If that was the only gay joke, would have been great.
Yeah, the whole construction of the scene I thought was fine, but it was because of where it was and like how many gay jokes we've had, like you said, it became just it wasn't a positive, it wasn't a negative. It was just that middle ground. It's like I appreciate what you were going for here, but sadly everything else you did before it has ruined this.
Yes.
That definitely hurt it, for sure.
Old guy penis, yay.
Yeah.
Reuse props from other movies, because fuck building stuff. We have this laying around, let's just use this again.
What was the reuse prop?
The dick is from Tromeo and Juliet.
Okay, it's been forever since I've seen Tromeo and Juliet, so I couldn't remember that. But the dick puppet that gets popped up and exploded. Oh yeah, she's hemorrhaging. Nope, it's this exploded dick. Okay.
I mean, that line was funny.
I thought that was pretty funny, but I guess let's just wrap up the end of the film.
Oh, and my last note on the bad side is one of the funniest ones to me is that only the end credits are in widescreen.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. You're right. That's what's upsetting. This film is still full screen, and it still looks like we said before, it still looks like shit, and everything else.
Yep. God
damn it. End of the film. Final positives of the film. As we can wrap up here. Sarah has two kids. One is Toxie's kid. Ha, yay. The other is Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD's.
Oh, cute kid.
That's right. And then
shit!
They thankfully end the film on a good joke.
The freeze frame.
It ends on a freeze frame, but it's one of the normal jokes where it's not an actual freeze frame. Everyone's just holding the position, and then Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD kind of walks in and looks around like, why is everyone standing still?
Yeah, and then leaves.
I give the film credit. It did end on a good note. Good last joke.
Yes.
But overall, Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger Part 4. God damn this fucking movie.
We had a lot of legitimate positives. There was a lot of legitimately good jokes in this movie. Honestly, a lot more really actual funny jokes compared to 3 or even 2. Mm-hmm. But the amount of bad and insulting, lowbrow, childish humor consistently cropping up in this film, the shit jokes, the fart jokes, the anti-gay jokes, the transphobic jokes, the literally just insulting the mentally handicapped non-stop. And like, if it wasn't for all the other jokes in that opening fucking sequence with the retarded school, Tito, I think, would be totally fine, because you could do, it was, by comparison, not as bad. But the fact that he was just a cherry on this retard Sunday was, oh Jesus, this is not a good film.
No, it is not. It is absolutely not. So any final thoughts before we get into our star ratings? Like, anything beyond what you just said? Because I think that's covering a lot of it for me. Like we said here, we spoke so much about positives that was probably the length of the actual episodes for 2 and 3, and those positives are really good.
They are, yeah.
But it's just so much. Like, if that stuff is pulled out, like I said, if you took that stuff out, like there's a good movie here and the story. But like everything in the negatives, everything outside the positives we talked about, the positives are probably only like 20 minutes of this film, maybe 25.
Yeah, that's totally fair. About 25 minutes of this movie is all those positives. And
then everything else is so bad. It drags everything down so much. It's just really upsetting. Like, I was sitting, like we said, anytime Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD was on the screen, or the Sklar Brothers, I was up, attentive, laughing. But when it went away from them, I was just, like, upset. I'm like, oh my god, I'm back to this fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Bring back Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, please. Please. Bring back Lemmy. Bring back Ron Jeremy. Oh, you killed him? Okay. Thanks. Bye. I'm done. I got nothing else really to say about this. You want to wrap it up with some star ratings?
Oh, let's wrap it up with some star ratings.
Star ratings. I normally will at least give my minimum of half a star. I give this film 0 stars.
I give this 1 star, maybe 1.5. I'm feeling extremely generous, because I do think that this is better than 3. Whereas 3 was all shit in my opinion, and although this has way bigger shit, literally, there are some legitimately good jokes, and I feel that there were people working on this that cared, even if those people did not include Lloyd Kaufman. And it's mostly thanks to David as Toxie. I thought he did a bang-up job, and Paul as Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, and Evil Kabuki Man, that really bring this film up to at least 1 star compared to the 0 that I would also be willing to give it. But I didn't hate the film. I didn't hate watching it like I hated watching 3.
God, I find your stance admirable. I totally agree with you. But goddamn, I hated watching this movie when it wasn't the positives I was talking about. I was legitimately embarrassed to be watching this. I don't want to feel that way ever again.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel that way when I watch a fucking movie. I paid $3 to rent this from Amazon. I think I fucking feel.
Hey, I fucking bought this for $20 on DVD when it came out, motherfucker.
Yeah, and you're a dumb asshole.
Well, hey, there you go.
You're actively more supporting Lloyd Kaufman and like producing trash garbage than I am.
Hey, that was during a time period when I hadn't seen any other trauma films in years. I didn't know. I'm just busting your balls. I still love you. You're my number 1 birthday boy. God damn it! Also, fuck Lloyd Kaufman's stupid fucking cameo at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, like thousands of people die every year from meeting their parallel universe self, and it's just Lloyd running around in a diaper. Why are you in a diaper?
Why?
Get away. 16 years later, there's still Toxic Avenger 5, although apparently it's in production. They've been working on it.
Been in production forever.
It's so funny to me that people want to play this game of acting like Troma's the best, but you guys won't fucking dish up any money to fucking make a 5th Toxic Avenger film.
Whoa, fuck that.
Ah, Jesus Christ. I'm not even sure I'd give that a shot if it came out. I'd probably do what I did with Return to Nukem High. I'd watch the trailer, like halfway through the trailer, I would just go, "Oh wait, no, this is gonna be terrible," and then I was not, just be fine and not ever see it
and never watch it.
So that's it for the Toxic Avenger films.
Oh,
but we
thank
have
God.
one more film in this string of Troma series that we are going to talk about next week.
One more.
I'm not going to spoil
Nope.
it. You have to tune in to find out. But if you want to get some hints and tips, some tricks about what it might be, I don't guarantee I'll tell you. But you could always email us at moviefilmswithbillandsteve@gmail.com, and I might let you know. If you're one of the only 2 people have ever actually emailed us, I might just let you know, because I'm a nice guy. Or you can get on our Tumblr at moviefilmswithbillandsteve.tumblr.com. We also have a Facebook and an iTunes. Just look up Movie Films with Bill and Steve. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and a 5-star review, and tell us what the plot of Toxic Avenger 5 should be.
Toxie travels through time with a Mighty Max cap trying to fix his past mistakes. Because this one is the true sequel.
Oh, I think it's great. Or it'll be like the image Steve made for me of Troma Civil War, this time more shit jokes. Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD must face off against the Toxic Avenger.
Toxic! Avenger! Oh, not to make it a positive, but I want to at least give some credit in the fact that they used original music in this film and not just shitty fucking public domain.
Shitty music.
Classical tunes.
Ain't got that
swing.
Ring if it ain't got that swing. Whatever that fucking song was. Yeah, it doesn't have that. Yeah, and of course, you can find me on Twitter at @LevelWillBill.
Please check out my films, silverspotlightfilms.com, facebook.com/silverspotlightfilms, facebook.com/theamazingspidersteve. I post pictures of me wearing spandex. You see my penis very well.
Woo.
You're welcome.
You can see it's like Tobey Maguire's penis during the subway scene on Toxic Avenger. Spider-Man 2.
Oh, Tobey Maguire really, just when you thought Toxic Avenger couldn't get worse.
Oh. Mama! That's my impersonation.
Oh! Oh!
Hey, this movie could have used some dice clay. He could have classed it up. What's that tell you?
Hickory dickory dock! I used to date Cindy LeBrock.
Let's end this shit. Fuck. As always, guys, I've been Bill.
I've been Steve. Because it's funny because it shits.